welcome into the broadcast. We are live from David E. Hastings Stadium for a matchup between your Guelph Royals and the Welland Jackfish. You are watching Royals TV. I'm Noam Stryfer, joined here by Cam Sterling. Cam, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing fantastic, Noam. The weather has cleared up. It's cooled down for this evening's game against the Guelph Royals and the Welland Jackfish here in Guelph, Ontario, and it looks like a great night for some baseball.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And speaking of a good night for some baseball, we're going to be talking about the All-Star Game happening on Sunday, July 20th from Bernie Arbor Stadium in Hamilton. There are four of your Guelph Royals going to be on the team. Starting at third base, we have the one and only Garrett Takamatsu. And then on the reserve list, we have Matthew Ward, Jacob Cush, and Edgar Garcia for the Royals. Welland has too many All-Stars to name. They're first place in the IBL standings this year, and they're doing absolutely great. Last game with Guelph against the Welland Jackfish did not go the Royals' way, ended 13-8 for the Jackfish, and this season Welland is up 3-0 against the Royals. After last year, they met in the championship with Welland pulling through in that one. It's been a little bit disappointing for the Royals so far this season. Top performers in that game, most recent game against the Jackfish were Garrett Takamatsu, who had 2 hits and scored 2 runs while batting in 4 on the night, and J.D. Williams, who himself also had 2 hits, 2 runs, and 2 RBIs. The pitching was not great all around for the Royals as they allowed 13 runs on the night. Cam, what can we expect to see from the Jackfish and the Royals tonight?
Well, the Guelph Royals have some work to do in the bottom half of the standings, just sitting at 11-16 on the year, compared to the first place Welland Jackfish sitting at 21-6. Guelph Royals looking to snap a 3-game losing streak here tonight, but that's going to be tough as the Welland Jackfish are on a 7-game winning streak. So it's very, very polarizing stats as far as the records go. But these two met in the championship last year, and there's championship roots in that Guelph Royals dugout that they need to find in order to take down the Welland Jackfish for the first time this season.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. The Royals, this season, the story has been their potential. The potential has been there for them all year long. They've got some great bats, some great pitching in their team, and it just needs to all come together for them. And lately, that has not been happening. Guelph sitting at 3-7 in their last 10 games. And their last time out against London, it was yet another loss, a 7-4 loss against the 17-10 second-place London Majors. Top performers on that night were Brando LaRue, who had 2 hits, a run, and a walk, Ward, who scored a run, Takamatsu with an RBI, and Jacob Cush. We will be right back for the national anthem. Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium. We are just minutes away from first pitch on the night. So for now, we're going to go through the lineups. For the visiting Welland Jackfish, we have Jonah Weisner leading off, followed by Morello, Boucher, Mullen in the cleanup spot. We got Barrett batting fifth and playing first base, Mateo Porchelato at third, Dom as a designated hitter, and then Luther and Cupid to round out the 8 and 9 spots. Starting pitcher for your Guelph Royals tonight is going to be Edgar Garcia. Cam, I know you have some thoughts about him.
Edgar Garcia has been stellar on the mound for the Guelph Royals so far this season, only starting 3 games for the Royals through his first 10 appearances, appearing in 21 and 2/3 innings for the Guelph Royals, has been fairly consistent with the lowest ERA among starters, sitting at 166, and 3 saves on the year, so has been incredibly productive both in the reliever spot and starting on the mound.
Yeah, well, that versatility is going to be vital for the Guelph Royals heading into the back half of this season. Something to note about Edgar Garcia, he's one of few players in the Inter-County Baseball League to have big league experience. He spent parts of 4 seasons with the Philadelphia Phillies, Tampa Bay Rays, Cincinnati Reds, and Minnesota Twins. So he brings a really great veteran presence to this Royals squad. There's not a lot of players in this league who have played in the big leagues, so it'll be great to see how he does tonight against the first place Welland Jackfish and their, for lack of a better term, stacked lineup.
And boy, does Edgar Garcia punch that strike zone with 23 strikeouts on 21 and a third innings pitched. Puts his Ks per 9 up to 9.554. Has been an incredible threat for the Guelph Royals, as I said, out of the bullpen and starting.
Yeah, well, and those strikeouts are going to be key for the Royals, who have had some defensive struggles lately. Post-game, after the Canada Day game, manager Gio Morello was talking about the defense from against Chatham-Kent that night, and his quote was, "It was just terrible. One of the worst games we've had in a few years. We want to be better, especially on Canada Day. We had snowball fights around the infield, and it's no indication of how talented we are." So clearly, confidence from the manager that his players are better than they showed on that night. And in this tough stretch from the Royals, having a stable presence like Garcia on the mound, who will strike out a decent amount of batters, could be very great to take some pressure off the defense who's been struggling lately.
And that's definitely the attack that you want to take on the Welland Jackfish. With 6 players sitting at over 20 strikeouts on the season, they swing and they swing hard. But if you're able to get some momentum on the mound, could be killer for the Guelph Royals.
Yeah, I could not agree more. It's going to be key for them. We're just about ready for first pitch. Leading off for the Welland Jackfish is the second baseman, Jonah Weisner.
Jonah Weisner has been the best second baseman in the IBL this season, batting .364 on the year with 5 home runs and 23 RBIs. Was an easy pick for the second base starter in the IBL All-Star Game.
Yeah, well, and he's just one of many players in this Jackfish lineup. It's a threat. Garcia set. First pitch of the game is a ground ball to the second baseman. He takes it, he flips it on to Takamatsu at first for out number 1. Well, and I was talking about the Royals and their defensive struggles lately, but that was an excellent play to start it off by the second baseman, and we have 1 away here in the first.
Brando LaRue with a nice crossbody catch on a fast ground ball off the bat of Jonah Weisner. Packs a lot of speed, but LaRue's able to compact it and get it over to the first baseman, Liam Watson, with plenty of time.
Up now for the Royals, or the Jackfish, my mistake, is Gianfranco Morello. Morello batting .347 on the season, 16 walks to 20 strikeouts with 34 hits in 98 at-bats on the year. First pitch. First pitch misses low for ball number 1.
Gio Morello, another all-star starter in the top half of the batting order for the Welland Jackfish, batting .347 on the year through 24 games.
That one's fouled back into the parking lot here at Hastings.
After the return of Mateo Porcelato, Morello's been getting a little bit more off time. Hasn't played every single game this year, but he has been incredibly impactful. With just 1 home run, but 21 RBIs and 16 walks.
The 1-1. This is inside for ball number 2. Garcia lacking a little bit of command on that fastball early on in this one, but again, with the big league experience, I expect him to be able to make that adjustment. 2-1 is lined to the left center gap. That's going to drop. Oh, what a catch by the left fielder, Ashton Patterson, as he makes a running, reaching catch for out number 2 on the night. I gotta say, Royals, right off the bat, 2 incredible defensive plays, proving me wrong and making manager Gio Morello proud.
I think everybody in this park thought Gio Morello find the perfect gap out in that deep left center field. But Ashton Patterson, a defensive mastermind in the left field territory, is able to make the play on one of the top hitters in the IBL.
First pitch to Boucher is in there for strike number 1. Boucher, solid man out of the 3 spot, batting .273 on the season, 9 walks to 8 strikeouts and 14 RBIs. As that one nicks the inside corner for strike number 2. Garcia commanding the fastball nicely and pairing it well with the slider early on in this one.
Pierre Boucher joined the team a little later in the 2025 season, just played 11 games on the year for the Welland Jackfish. As you said, batting .273 with 2 home runs and 14 RBIs through just 11 games.
The 1-2 from Garcia is swung on and missed for strike 3. What a statement in the top of the first here from the Guelph Royals. 2 stellar defensive plays and then a strikeout against the number 3 hitter. Great start against the first place Welland Jackfish.
Fantastic start by Edgar Garcia as well. Keeping his pitch count low with a couple of early outs. 1 on Jonah Weisner and 1 on Pierre Boucher, which only took 4 pitches to strike him out. And the Guelph Royals have a statement first inning on defense against the top team in the IBL.
Well, and Garcia got through that one so quickly, we didn't even have time to show you the defense yet, so we're going to go through that now. Starting behind the plate, we have got Matthew Ward. At first, we've got Wilson, and at second, we got LaRue. On the left side of the infield, we got Connor Morrow and Gallo. And then rounding out the outfield, we got Ashton Patterson, J.D. Williams, and Hammond. And of course, as we've mentioned, your starting pitcher on the night, Edgar Garcia. Guelph really putting their A lineup out, both on the offense and defensive side tonight against the first place Jackfish.
The Guelph Royals are going to have to deal with Halen Knoll on the mound for the Welland Jackfish. Just his second start on the 2025 season. Has 10 appearances, 9 out of the bullpen for the Welland Jackfish. With a 7.80 ERA and 15 innings pitched. Hasn't been a stellar pitcher considering how well some of the starters have performed for the Welland Jackfish this year, with 2 all-star starters in Usildes Lyer and Teo Ortega. But Halen Knoll gets his second game starting off on the mound, taking on the Guelph Royals.
Yeah, Knoll, tough start to the 2025 season for sure, but the experience is there. He spent some time at the University of Mary in NCAA Division II. He also spent time with the Fort McMurray Giants of the Western Canadian Baseball League in 2022. He was a WCBL Pitcher of the Year finalist there. So experience and pedigree is there for Knoll, just kind of has to get it figured out here in the IBL.
I think that's kind of what Welland was going for, putting him in the bullpen. A lot of starters coming from outside the IBL perform extremely well with deep bullpen performances. But as we see here, brings some versatility and is always a starting option late in this season.
Yeah, well, and you know what they say, you can never have too much pitching depth. And the Jackfish are in a position where they can sort of test some things out here, being up 4 games in the standings. So it'll be interesting to see how they sort of utilize their bullpen and their rotation in the second half.
And they can also rest some of their most powerful starters heading into playoff time, which they have officially been the first IBL team to clinch a playoff spot.
Brando LaRue leading off for the Guelph Royals, takes ball 1 low in the zone.
Brando LaRue batting .224 on the season, just appeared in 17 games for the Guelph Royals.
As that one's on a line to the shortstop, takes it on the 1-hop and throws it over to Barrett at first for the first out of the inning. Good start for the Jackfish.
Brendan Luther with the easy ground ball play over at shortstop. Another all-star starter for the Welland Jackfish in this weekend's all-star game, but Luther making it look easy over there at shortstop. LaRue looking to find the gap right over second base, gets a little too far left, and the Welland Jackfish grab their first out of the game.
Up now for the Royals is Connor Morrow as he swings and misses for strike 1. Morrow batting .214 on the season, 3 walks to 7 strikeouts, 3 RBIs, and 28 at-bats on 6 hits.
Connor Morrow just appearing in 7 games so far this season.
As that one's hit on the ground to the third baseman, Porchelato. He flips it on to Barrett at first for the second out of the inning. Quickly, 2 outs for Halen Knoll on 2 ground balls.
The Welland Jackfish once again showing poise on the infield, making some ground balls look easy. And Mateo Porchelato, another all-star for the Welland Jackfish, is able to get it over to the first baseman, Grayson Barrett, with plenty of time.
I think you're going to be saying another all-star for the Jackfish a lot on this broadcast tonight. Up now for the Royals, it is the big man himself, Garrett Takamatsu. He'll watch one off the outside part of the plate for ball number 1. I believe that was the slider from Knoll.
Garrett Takamatsu, the lone all-star starter for the Guelph Royals, has been absolutely stellar this season, batting .317 with 6 home runs and 24 RBIs.
That one's lined out of play, foul. Yeah, absolutely stellar. You look at the RBI total out of the 3 spot, 24 RBIs and just 82 at-bats. He has missed a couple of games earlier in this season. You know, it's a working man's league here in the IBL, but when he is on the field, he's one of the top players in this league.
Takamatsu just 11 strikeouts through 22 games as well.
The 1-1 is swung on and missed by Takamatsu. Knoll in a pitcher's count here at 1-2. Takamatsu taking his time, Knoll with the look in. That one misses high, and it evens the count at 2-2 with 2 outs.
Takamatsu is held fairly quiet against the London Majors on July 12th in his previous game. Went 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts and an RBI.
That one misses off the plate, and it will load the count at 3-2. So nice job by Takamatsu to work it back from 1-2 to put himself in a full count here.
The Guelph Royals putting Halen Knoll's pitch count up early in the bottom of the first. Knoll away.
And that one's lined to the right field for a base hit. Takamatsu once again making things happen for the Royals.
Garrett Takamatsu goes down early with a 1-2 count, puts that one right into the gap past the second baseman, Jonah Weisner.
Yeah, well, and it is tough to hit the ball past Jonah Weisner, one of the best defensive players here in the IBL. And he just finds the gap between first baseman and the second baseman. Takamatsu was playing slightly shaded towards second, so there was a hole for him to hit it through. And that will bring up Liam Wilson, the first baseman here tonight.
Liam Wilson takes that one right by the chin. Halen Knoll sends that one way too inside. He takes the first ball.
And Knoll trying to make Wilson a little bit uncomfortable here at the plate early in this one. We'll see how he responds. As Wilson lines one to the right fielder, moving back, and he will make the running grab for out number 3. Brandon Hupe making the play there with a nice catch to end the inning. Royals 0, Jackfish 0. We will head to the second.
One complete here at Hastings Stadium. Leading off for Welland, the catcher, number 23, Robert Mullen.
Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium. It's Noam Streifer and Cam Sterling here for the second inning. Garcia back out there after a stellar 1-2-3 first inning, and he will take on 4, 5, 6 in the Welland Jackfish lineup, starting with the catcher, Robert Mullen.
Leading off for the Welland Jackfish is arguably the most deadly hitter in the entire IBL. Robert Mullen with 10 home runs on the year, by far leading the Welland Jackfish in home runs with 31 RBIs and 24 walks. Is an all-around offensive threat in the batter's box. And Edgar Garcia with an even count after 2 pitches has a problem to deal with.
A 1-1-2 Mullen misses off the plate. The slider by Garcia.
Garcia keeping it off the plate and out of the strike zone for Robert Mullen. Part of the reason Mullen takes so many walks is because pitchers do not want to throw it right down the middle.
That one's lined over the shortstop's head for a base hit. So Robert Mullen with a leadoff single here for the Welland Jackfish. Yeah, well, and to your point there, I noticed in that at-bat, first 3 pitches, first one nicked the outside corner, then the next 2 missed on the outside half. And then as soon as Garcia goes a little bit closer inside to Mullen, he's able to turn on the ball and hit it for a line drive right over the shortstop's head. Just a textbook at-bat there from Mullen.
Edgar Garcia does a great job keeping it away from a more powerful spot that Robert Mullen could knock that out of the park, but Mullen's still able to find the gap in between shortstop Connor Morrow and left fielder Ashton Patterson, puts it right over the head of Morrow and gets the first man on base for the Welland Jackfish.
And that'll be Grayson Barrett up for the Jackfish now as he fouls off the first pitch. Barrett getting a chance with a runner on base. He's batting .280 on the season, 27 strikeouts, 11 walks, and 24 RBIs in 100 at-bats so far. So, like we keep talking about, up and down the Jackfish lineup, just dangerous hitters.
Grayson Barrett, once again, another all-star starter for the Welland Jackfish. 6 home runs on the year as well. A little bit underplayed by the 10 home runs from the man before him. But Grayson Barrett can knock one out of the park whenever he wants. So Edgar Garcia with another hard hitter ahead of him. But as the pitchers count with 0 balls and 2 strikes.
The 0-2 from Garcia. That one's fouled off. Barrett doing a great job of staying alive here, but hitting the ball back into the parking lot twice there. So, make sure you park your car nicely here at Hastings.
Edgar Garcia taking some time, still with just 2 strikes recorded, 0 balls on Grayson Barrett. Winds up.
And that one is swung on and missed for strike 3. So Garcia, after giving off the leadoff single, is able to come back with a strikeout against Grayson Barrett to get the first out of the inning, and that will bring up Mateo Porcholato. Porcholato batting .424 on the season, 14 walks, 23 strikeouts, with 36 hits and 20 RBIs. So tough task here for the righty early on in this one with a runner on base.
Mateo Porcholato with just 2 home runs on the year, but still hits for power with 8 extra base hits. Plays all around the lineup for the Welland Jackfish. Finds his spot at third base here tonight.
First pitch from Garcia is fouled back into the parking lot once again. Garcia with 13 strikes to just 5 balls here on the night. So we were talking about his strikeout ability earlier here. He does that by just keeping the ball in the zone, forcing the Jackfish to swing at that. He just has the kind of come and get me attitude that you want from your starter. And that one's lined to the second baseman, a tailor-made double play ball. He flips it on to first for Wilson, and that will end the inning. What a job by Garcia. Tailor-made ground ball for a double play there. And we are still tied at 0 here.
Garcia has been fantastic through 2 innings of play for the Guelph Royals, showing command incredibly well, simultaneously keeping the ball off the plate from powerful bats of the Welland Jackfish, as well as grabbing 2 strikeouts. Solid start for number 22, Edgar Garcia.
And we'll take a look at the Guelph Royals lineup. They've gotten through the first few frames so quickly we haven't had a chance to yet. Leading off was the second baseman, Brando LaRue, followed by Connor Morrow. And then rounding out the top 3, we have the designated hitter, Garrett Takamatsu, Liam Wilson, Matthew Ward, and Ethan Hammond at 4, 5, and 6. And then rounding out the bottom of the order, we have J.D. Williams, Jordan Gallo, and the defensive wizard, Ashton Patterson here. So kind of a classic lineup setup for your Guelph Royals. Big bats at the top, then you got your defensive speedy guys at the bottom. But pretty interesting. I've noticed that they moved J.D. Williams down in the order since the last time out. So sort of trying to change things up here in this tough stretch of baseball.
Halen Knoll giving up 1 batter on base after a single from Garrett Takamatsu. His job is not done yet with 3 very trustworthy bats coming up in the 5, 6, and 7 slot for the Guelph Royals with Matthew Ward, Ethan Hammond, and J.D. Williams this inning. Matthew Ward heading into the batter's box, gets his first crack at Halen Knoll this season. Matthew Ward batting .269 for the Guelph Royals through 25 games. Just 1 home run with 8 RBIs, 7 extra base hits. So it's been very productive in the heart of the batting order for the Guelph Royals.
And we will take a look at the Welland Jackfish defense. Behind the plate, we have the one and only Robert Mullen. Rounding out the infield, we got Barrett and Weisner on the left side, and Luther and Porcelato on the left, on the right. And then in the outfield, we've got Boucher, Morello, and Brandon Hupe, and of course, as we've mentioned, Halen Knoll starting pitcher here for the Jackfish, as he will face the Royals here in the second. Up to bat, the catcher, Matthew Ward. Takes a first pitch strike on the inner half. Knoll backdooring that slider a little bit to get ahead in the count.
Matthew Ward held quiet in the last matchup against the London Majors, went 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts.
Ward takes second pitch up and in for ball number 1, evening the count at 1-1. Ward batting .269 on the season, 15 walks and 20 strikeouts. The 1-1 to Ward. Misses inside for ball number 2, so Ward in a little bit of a hitter's count now.
Ward with a heavy swing on that breaking ball from Halen Knoll. Knoll catches him right down the middle of the strike zone. Ward swings way early and evens out the count at 2-2.
Ward batting .308 against right-handed pitchers so far this season. The 2-2 misses up for ball number 3, so that will bring the count to full here early in the second inning.
The pitch count for Halen Knoll is going up very high early on in this game with multiple long at-bats.
Payoff pitch is hit on the fly to center field. Catch is made out there for out number 1. It is Gio Morello out there. And Halen Knoll quickly one out in the inning.
Gio Morello covering a lot of ground out in center field. Gets that ball in shallow right center with plenty of time, and able to record the first out for the Welland Jackfish here in the bottom of the second.
Up now for the Guelph Royals is Ethan Hammond, playing right field tonight. He's batting .241 on the season, 10 walks, 15 strikeouts, with 20 hits in 83 at-bats. First pitch, that one's a strike. That hit nicks the inside the low corner for strike number 1.
Ethan Hammond, no home runs on the year so far, but 14 RBIs and 3 doubles. It's been fairly consistent in the middle of the batting order, playing in every single game this season.
The 1-1 misses low for ball number 2. Ward was referenced by Jacob Cush in a post-game interview a couple days back. They were talking about his defensive ability, and he said, "I trust him with every pitch. He's just very intelligent, and he just gets me." So that's the kind of attitude that you want from your starting catcher there. The pitching staff just has so much trust in Ward. He's one of the better defensive catchers here in the IBL, so great stuff from Ward. 3-1 misses up, and the Guelph Royals have a base runner here in the second inning, and that will bring up Ethan Hammond.
Ethan Hammond able to get on base for the first time this game in his first at-bat against Halen Knoll. Knoll struggling to find the strike zone early on in this game with multiple full counts. He's got to find command against one of the top hitters out of the Guelph Royals dugout, J.D. Williams.
J.D. Williams batting .281 on the season with 27 hits, and is in the running for the last available IBL roster slot for the All-Star game. So get out there and vote for your Guelph Royals to get J.D. Williams into the game.
J.D. Williams with 1 home run, but 19 RBIs on the year. The second highest on the team, just behind Garrett Takamatsu. Leading the team in strikeouts as well with 28.
Now when he's down 0-2 here, the 0-2 misses off the plate. Knoll setting up with the slider there, trying to induce the chase from the strikeout-heavy J.D. Williams. And that brings the count to 1-2.
Halen Knoll with some wiggle room with the 0-2 count. Sends that one off the plate. Fourth pitch is away.
That one misses outside as well. So Williams has worked the count to 2-2 now after going down early. And that one's picked off, throw to first, and he got Ethan Hammond. What a move by Halen Knoll. Quick step over to first and just not ready for that. That's not the kind of thing that you want to see here early in this game.
Ethan Hammond with 4 stolen bases on the year and a very ambitious leadoff over at first. Halen Knoll able to take advantage with, which is fairly difficult as a right-handed pitcher without the view of first base, but makes the play regardless. Puts up a second out for the Welland Jackfish.
And the 2-2 misses low, and that will load the count at 3-2. So J.D. Williams went down 0-2 early in the count and then watches 3 straight balls to bring the count to full, making Halen Knoll work here, who's actually thrown 15 balls to just 13 strikes here. So the command a little bit iffy early on in this one. The payoff pitch. And that's swung on and missed by Williams to end the inning. So pickoff play and a strikeout later. The Royals go from having a runner on first to being out of the inning. And it's 0-0 here at David E. Hastings. We will be right back. Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium. You are watching Guelph Royals TV. Score 0-0 after 2, and Garcia will face Austin Gom to lead things off. Gom batting .256 on the season, 15 strikeouts to just 3 walks, with 11 hits and 43 at-bats. First pitch makes it onto the outside corner for strike number 1.
Austin Gom just appearing in 11 games for the Welland Jackfish so far this season. As you said, just batting .256. The lowest batting average out of all starters here tonight for the Welland Jackfish. If you could call that a weak spot, but still batting .256 and being very consistent through 11 games. 0 home runs on the year, but 5 RBIs and 3 walks. But Edgar Garcia able to strike him out for the first out of the top of the third.
Yeah, well, and I gotta say, in reference to Austin Gom, having your weakest hitter in the lineup be batting 250 on the season is absolutely elite, and that just sort of illustrates the depth in this Welland Jackfish lineup. And I'll bring up Brendan Luther, who is batting 383 on the season, so it kind of makes sense within context that 250 is the lowest average.
Another all-star reserve for the Welland Jackfish in the 8th slot. He's got a few reps on defense so far over at shortstop. Gets his first crack at Edgar Garcia.
And the first pitch is in there right down the middle for strike number 1.
Garcia with 3 strikeouts through 7 batters. Gets the first strike on Brandon Luther.
0-1. That one's ground ball up the middle for a base hit, so mark it down as a single for Brendan Luther. And the Jackfish have a runner on first for the number 9 hitter, Brandon Hupe. Now, I mean, that's exactly what you don't really want to do if you're Edgar Garcia. You got the bottom of the order up here, and now you're risking things with the number 9 hitter, Brandon Hupe, who is no slouch himself, batting 296 with 32 hits on the season. So you don't want to turn things over to the top of the order here. So I expect Garcia to be pitching low in the zone, trying to induce that ground ball for the double play.
Brendan Luther, the first Welland Jackfish to finally find the gap on a line drive right over second base. Past the glove of Brando LaRue over at second. He's able to put the first man on base here in the top of the third for the Welland Jackfish. As Brandon Hupe enters the batter box after just recently getting the All-Star nod in the last vote for the South. Adding once again another All-Star onto the reserves for the Welland Jackfish.
Pickoff move over to first. Runner's back in safely. Garcia probably wasn't taking that one too seriously. Probably just couldn't figure out what pitch to throw. Wanted to make sure the runner was aware. The 0-1. In there for strike number 2. So Garcia ahead in the count here against Hupe. Coming back with 2 strikes nicely after giving up the base hit.
Brandon Luther is a threat to steal with 9 stolen bases through 27 games. Puts him in 3rd on the team. Just behind Mateo Porcelato and Jonah Weisner.
0-2 misses on the outside half in the dirt, and that will bring the count to 1-2 here.
Brandon Hupe with 2 home runs and 19 RBIs on the year. Notching 9 extra base hits, so hits for power in the 9 slot. And rounds out this Welland Jackfish batting order perfectly.
And that one's going to go to the backstop. Luther's going to advance to second easily on the play. And the Jackfish have a runner in scoring position here with just 1 out.
Brendan Hupe evens out the count as well at 2-2 with 1 away. Edgar Garcia taking some time. Trying to get some momentum back. Close out this top of the third.
Garcia with just 7 balls on the night, so the command is there. I think he just held on to that pitch a little bit too long. Be interesting to see what he comes back with here after missing with the slider. And that's a fastball lined into the center fielder. And that one's going to be caught for out number 2. J.D. Williams making the play. The runner holds up at second. And a great comeback pitch from Garcia after giving up the wild pitch and allowing the runner to advance.
J.D. Williams tracks that one very well. Hupe tries to put it deep out of David E. Hastings Stadium. But Williams pulls it back in. Just a bit too shallow. And Luther is stranded at second.
Yeah, well, and that will, the job's not over yet for Garcia, as that will bring up the leadoff hitter and the all-star starter, Jonah Weisner, who always a tough out, especially against the Guelph Royals.
Jonah Weisner grounded out in his last at-bat with a ground ball over to Brando LaRue with a nice play.
First pitch misses low for ball number 1 against Weisner.
Brendan Luther, fairly ambitious leadoff over at second. Edgar Garcia giving him a look.
The 1-0 way inside for ball number 2. So Garcia missing the command that we saw early on in his start a little bit in this inning. You'll notice the Guelph defense playing Weisner basically straight up. You have the center field shaded slightly towards left, but otherwise straight up here. As Garcia will look the runner back. Give himself a little reset in the 2-0 count.
Third baseman Jordan Gallo playing a little bit shallow off the bunt attempt.
The 2-0. And that one misses just high for ball number 3. So 3-0 count here for Garcia. Tough call there. You could tell he wanted that one, shaking his head.
Edgar Garcia with some work to do. The 3-0 count, 2 away, and a man on second. Jonah Weisner with some wiggle room, 0 for 1 on the day.
And the 3-0 is lined into the left fielder. And that one, the runner holds it third. And that'll move runners station to station as Weisner collects his first hit on the night.
That puts runners on the corners, and Brendan Luther 90 feet away from scoring the first run of the game. Edgar Garcia getting his second crack at Gio Morello. In the 2 slot for the Welland Jackfish, 0 for 1 on the day as well.
Fans here at Hastings letting the home plate umpire know they are not happy with the strike zone here early on in this one. Garcia just missed the third ball there. And Weisner was able to capitalize on the fastball right after that.
Gio Morello flew out in his last at-bat with a deep ball out to left field. Tracked well by Ashton Patterson. He's back in the batter's box with runners on the corners and 2 away. That one's just a bit too low. And Edgar Garcia with the first ball of the at-bat. A little bit of a mound visit for the Guelph Royals as Edgar Garcia looks to maintain composure and get out of this inning cleanly with 2 outs recorded.
Nobody up in the Royals bullpen, so likely still Garcia's inning here. No reason to pull him yet. Hasn't allowed a run. A little bit iffy command here, but former big leaguer knows how to make the adjustments. I expect him to bounce back here.
No walks allowed on the day by Edgar Garcia, but 2 hits in the last 3 batters.
And a wild pitch mixed in there to allow the runner to advance. Garcia comes set. And the 1-0 to Morello. Hits there on the outside corner, so mound visit might have worked. Garcia regaining that command and puts the fastball in there for an easy strike.
It's a big strike for Edgar Garcia. Catches Morello looking.
Morello fouls that one back for strike 2, so Garcia here in the driver's seat with runners on first and third, hoping to pitch his way out of a jam here.
Morello gets a little too much under that ball. Swings back near the press box. And Edgar Garcia with some momentum, and a ball and 2 strikes with 2 away.
that one's chopped to first, but it will go foul. Fans here at Hastings getting into the action here. Getting excited in the 1-2 count.
Gio Morello able to keep the at-bat alive against Edgar Garcia. Runners still on the corners for the Welland Jackfish. This is Edgar Garcia.
Garcia with a long look in, finally gets a sign that he likes. The 1-2, foul back, hits off the pole and bounces back into play. Morello doing a good job timing it up here. Just missing slightly with the knob of the bat, but when you're hitting the ball straight back like that, it clearly means that you've timed the pitcher up. You just need to get it a little better with the barrel.
Edgar Garcia now entering the 6th pitch of the at-bat. Gio Morello doing a great job staying in it.
And that's going to be caught. And flipped it on over to Wilson at first. A nice play by Brando LaRue on the chopper there to get his starting pitcher out of the inning, picking up Garcia after a couple of miscues. Score remains knotted at 0 as we head to the bottom of the 3rd.
Edgar Garcia gets caught in a bit of a jam with runners on the corners. Brendan Luther on 3rd and Jonah Weisner on 1st. 2 immaculate base runners for the Welland Jackfish. But after a mound visit, Edgar Garcia stays composed, knocks out Gio Morello, and keeps this game scoreless.
3-3 innings. Garcia, 27 strikes with 11 walks, has struck out 3 Welland Jackfish and allowed just 3 hits. So commanding performance from the right-hander thus far, as we'll welcome Halen Knoll back out to the mound here in the bottom of the 3rd.
Halen Knoll with just 1 strikeout on the night, coming off of J.D. Williams. He's allowed 2 men on base in the form of a single by Garrett Takamatsu and a walk by Ethan Hammond, which got immediately picked off.
Heading into the night, had an ERA sitting up above 7, but thus far through 2 innings, just 2 base runners allowed, and he's got the fastball mixing nicely with the off speed and working. Good stuff here from Knoll early on in this one.
This comes with the Guelph Royals heading back up to the top of the batting order later on this inning, as Halen Knoll gets his first look at Jordan Gallo and Ashton Patterson. And back up to Brando LaRue in the 1 slot.
Yeah, Royals here hoping that the bottom of the order can get something going here against Knoll. Turn things over to LaRue, Morrow, and Takamatsu up at the top. And it will be Jordan Gallo leading off here for the Royals.
Leading off for your Guelph Royals, the 3rd baseman, number 23, Jordan Gallo.
Gallo, batting .265 on the season, has walked twice as many times as he struck out, with 6 walks and 3 strikeouts in 34 at-bats. So an elite approach here from the young hitter.
Jordan Gallo 0 for 4 in the last game against the London Majors on Saturday. Gets his first crack at Halen Knoll in tonight's contest.
Looks at a first pitch ball. Next one is fouled back for strike 1, and the count is level here at 1-1.
Jordan Gallo just appearing in 14 games for the Guelph Royals this season. 1 home run and 7 RBIs on the year. Batting .265, a very consistent bat in the bottom half of the batting order for the Guelph Royals. Finds his spot at 3rd base here tonight.
The 1-1 misses up in the zone. Jordan Gallo, a former member of the junior team Mississauga Tigers, also did some time at Connors State in JUCO as a freshman and played well there. knows his way around the baseball field. The 2-1. That one's hit on the ground to Weisner at second base. He flips it on to first for the first out of the inning. Nice job by Knoll to induce the soft contact there on the off-speed pitch. And quickly one out here for the Welland Jackfish.
So many good fielding options in the infield for the Welland Jackfish, with Porchelato over at third, Luther at shortstop, and Jonah Weisner there with a nice ground ball play, able to flip it over to Grayson Barrett with plenty of time and record the first out for the Welland Jackfish.
That'll bring up Ashton Patterson, Kitchener, Ontario native. First pitch misses low for ball number 1. Patterson batting just .143 on the season through 21 at-bats in 9 games.
Ashton Patterson appearing in almost every game for the Guelph Royals with 25. Hasn't batted extremely well, has been more impactful on the defensive side as we saw in the top of the first. But 8 hits on 66 at-bats, putting his batting average to .121 on the year. Flies that one out to shallow. And Brendan Luther able to make the easy play for the second out of the bottom of the third.
Yeah, my mistake there. I was looking at David Alvarez's stat sheet. Another great defensive outfielder here for the Guelph Royals. That'll turn things over to the top of the order with Brando LaRue coming up to bat. LaRue 0 for 1 on the day. Grounded out in the first inning. Gets a second look here at Halen Knoll. First pitch is fouled back into the parking lot.
Brando LaRue went 1 for 4 in the last matchup against the Welland Jackfish on July 10th.
The 0-1. Misses on the outside corner, so that evens the count at 1-1.
Put up 1 run and 1 strikeout in that 1 for 4 performance. Gets his second crack at Halen Knoll.
1-1 slider misses off the plate, and LaRue puts himself into a hitter's count at 2-1.
Halen Knoll can't quite get these Guelph Royals swinging on that outside slider. Tried several times on the swing heavy J.D. Williams. Was able to get him to bite on the third try.
And that's a fly ball that will make its way out of play here. And I got to say, I am liking the approach that I'm seeing from Brando LaRue in this at-bat. Fouls off a couple of tough pitches, spits on the ones out of the zone, clearly staying calm in his approach, confident in his sight there at the plate. So, good stuff. The 2-2. That one misses up in the zone, and that will load the count at 3-2 with 2 outs here in the third inning.
Brando LaRue with just 7 strikeouts on the season through 17 games. Albeit the entire Guelph Royals dugout not very heavy on strikeouts.
And
sends that one
fly
deep
ball.
into center. And Gio Morello able to make the easy fly ball play to end the inning for the Welland Jackfish.
Score remains tied at 0-0 here in the bottom of the third. We'll head to the top of the fourth. You're watching Royals TV, and we will be right back.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com. Because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium. It's a tie game here in the top of the fourth. Noam Strifer and Cam Sterling here on the broadcast. Edgar Garcia out for his fourth inning of work, and after all, why not? He's only thrown 38 pitches so far through 3 innings, allowed 3 hits, but also struck out 3 Welland Jackfish without allowing a single walk here on the night. As he'll face Pierre-Olivier Boucher, who takes ball 1 to start off the inning. Boucher 0 for 1 on the night, batting .267 on the season, 8 strikeouts to 9 walks.
Boucher struck out in his last at-bat against Edgar Garcia, as that one sends way inside.
Garcia quickly behind 2-0 here against the Jackfish number 3 hitter.
Boucher, as we mentioned, just appearing in 11 games for the Welland Jackfish this season. Gets caught on that one, swung a little too far. Goes for the check swing, doesn't get it. Edgar Garcia with a strike on the board.
Two-one from Garcia. And that one's chopped to the first baseman, Wilson. He flips it on to Garcia, who has to run to get there, but he records the out. And quickly 1 out here in the fourth. And that'll bring up Robert Mullen for the Jackfish.
The catcher.
Boucher with a lot of speed on the base path with 5 stolen bases in 11 games. Was just inches away from getting on base. But the flip from Takamatsu to Edgar Garcia gets him in the nick of time and records the first out for the Guelph Royals.
And that brings up the cleanup hitter, Robert Mullen. 1 of 3 Jackfish with a hit on the night so far, batting .287 on the season, 20 walks to just 16 strikeouts. First pitch of the at-bat misses on the outside, on the outer edge of the plate for ball number 1.
Robert Mullen batting an absurd 1,069 OPS, slugging .624 with 10 home runs and 31 RBIs.
Yeah, well, and a common trend with these Jackfish hitters is that they love the inside pitch. They love to pull the ball, and Garcia consistently tonight has been living on the outer edge of the plate. That one's fouled straight back into the netting here. And that will make it a 2-1 count.
That one with pure velocity coming from Edgar Garcia. Catches Robert Mullen a little bit off guard, high in the zone. Mullen gets a little bit too much under it. It's fouled back.
The 2-1 to Mullen. And that one's fly ball to center field. Williams is there, and he will bring it in for the catch for out number 2 here. Garcia threw 2 batters clean. Some good defense here from the Royals early on in this one.
J.D. Williams with some good tracking out in center field. Originally sees it going a bit more into the right center field territory, stops in his tracks and still able to make the catch on a hard hit from Robert Mullen. Records the second out.
Yeah, well, and Williams was playing towards the left center gap, so does a nice job ranging over to make the catch on the run in the right center area for the second out of the inning. And that'll bring up Grayson Barrett, who swings at the first pitch and hits a line drive to Patterson out in left field. Patterson brings it in on the run to end the inning. Garcia through 4 has not allowed a run yet. What a start from the former big leaguer.
2 big flyouts from 2 of the most powerful hitters out of the Welland Jackfish dugout, and Robert Mullen and Grayson Barrett. Edgar Garcia making quick work of the heart of the batting order for the Welland Jackfish and gets out unscathed. Keeps this game scoreless.
That will bring up 2, 3, and 4 here for the Jackfish. So, heart of the order coming up here. Second time facing Knoll on the night. This is sort of the point in the game. You want to pick up your starter who's thrown 4 excellent innings, efficient innings, I might add. And now it's time for the offense to get a little something going here.
And if there's a spot to do it in the batting order, it is right here with trustworthy hitters in Garrett Takamatsu and Liam Wilson in the 3 and 4, with Connor Morrow leading off in his second at-bat against Halen Knoll. Knoll up to the mid-40s in his pitch count just through 3 innings. Would love to get that down just a little bit with several full counts through the first 2 innings.
Knoll has gone down in the count in some of these at-bats. We've seen some 2 and 3 ball counts early here, but has found a way to work back against this Royals lineup. So Royals doing a good job working the count, but just need to figure out how to finish the at-bat strong here, you know.
Just 1 hit on the night from Garrett Takamatsu. 2 men on base in that single, and a walk from Ethan Hammond, which immediately got picked off. So not much improvement on the base running path and on the overall run production. But the Guelph Royals doing some damage on the Welland Jackfish starting pitcher early.
And Garcia keeping the lineup in this game despite the lack of production through the first 3 innings. So it's prime time here for the Royals to start getting some offense going.
Your shortstop, number 6, Connor Morrow.
Connor Morrow back into the batter's box for the Guelph Royals. Grounded out in his last at-bat.
First pitch to Morrow, nicks the outside corner for strike number 1.
Connor Morrow just batting .214 on the year through 7 games. 6 hits at 28 at-bats in his limited appearances with the Guelph Royals.
Takes low and in for ball number 1. Knoll starting off with 2 off-speed pitches against Morrow here. Trying to lower the sight, probably going to come back with a fastball at some point in this at-bat. And he does, but Morrow's able to foul this one off and out of play into the trees here at Hastings. I mean, I guess if you really think about it here at Hastings, there's not really out of play down the lines because there's not really a fence. So, in theory, a player could run into the trees to make that catch, but never been done before as far as I know.
Halen Knoll struggling on the year with runs in his 10 appearances. 13 earned runs on the year with 18 hits through 15 innings. Has gotten out of 3 cleanly here at David T. Hastings. But once again, that pitch count climbing and climbing. The further we get.
The 2-2. That one misses upstairs, and to your point, Knoll sort of early on in this one, showcasing the potential that we know he has from his college days and his other indie ball experience. Hasn't exactly capitalized on that potential yet in the IBL, but you can see that stuff is there. Fastball moves nicely and pairs it nicely with the off speed. So that one's chopped to the third baseman, Patterson. He'll throw it on to first for out number 1. And Morrow set down early here in the 4th.
Great fielding once again from the Welland Jackfish. Mateo Porcelato takes a dribbler off the bat of Connor Morrow, able to contain it, get it to the first baseman Grayson Barrett with plenty of time, and record the first out.
And that will bring up the number 3 hitter, Garrett Takamatsu, the only Royal with a hit on the night so far. That hit came back in the first inning, but was quickly erased by a ground out from Wilson. First pitch is lined to the right fielder, and he'll bring that in for the catch. Brandon Hupe out there with the second out of the inning. So Knoll quickly through 2 batters here, and he will face the number 4 hitter, Liam Wilson.
Big play out in right field from Brandon Hupe, taking out the most powerful batter in the Guelph Royals dugout. Tracks that ball well, going backwards. Great power off the bat from Garrett Takamatsu. Can't quite get it deep enough to send it out of David E. Hastings. And instead, the Welland Jackfish record the second out of the inning and keep the bases empty.
Yeah, well, and that's just baseball right there. Takamatsu hit that ball really hard and has nothing to show for it as Luther makes a nice play out in right field. First pitch to Wilson misses for ball number 1. Wilson 0 for 1 on the night, but batting .293 on the season so far in 57 at-bats. Second pitch misses in the dirt on the outer half for ball number 2, so Wilson in control here with a hitter's count.
Liam Wilson just appearing in 17 games on the year for the Guelph Royals. Just 1 home run with 6 RBIs on the year and 8 walks. Has been hit by a pitch 7 times, which leads the team and sends that one deep into left center field, and it is out of here. Liam Wilson gets the first run on the board with a stand-up home run, and the Guelph Royals are up 1-0.
Great job by Wilson there. Spits on the first 2 pitches, missed with the fastball that missed up in the zone, takes the slider on the outer half, and then forces Knoll to come inside to him and just gets in front and elevates that fastball out of David E. Hastings to the deepest part of the yard. 397 out there in left center field. So a 1-0 lead here for the Royals, and that will bring up the catcher, Matthew Ward.
Liam Wilson with a textbook home run with great angle, great velocity. As you said, puts that into the deepest part of the field, going way over 400 feet. And the Guelph Royals with the first run of the game and a lead on the Welland Jackfish.
Ward showing bunt on the first pitch there, maybe trying to draw Porcelato in at third base. Porcelato essentially playing level with the bag at third, so slightly in. I'll take a couple steps back now. Pitch number 2, right down the middle for strike 1. That's a 1-1 count on Matthew Ward.
Ward flew out in his last at-bat, gets his second look at Hayden Knoll with an even count with a ball and a strike with 2 away. That one's just a bit off the plate, going for that slider once again on the outside. Does not catch Matthew Ward. Ward gets ahead on the count with 2 balls.
The 2-1 to Ward. And that one nicks the lower half of the plate for strike number 2. So 2-2 count here with 2 outs here in the 4th. Ward trying to follow up the home run by Wilson, keep the inning alive. That's a slider that misses in the dirt and loads the count at 3-2.
Hill and Lowell looking to get out of this inning with 2 away, with minimal damage in the form of a home run from Liam Wilson.
Knoll about to throw his 58th pitch of the night. And that's a fly ball that will make its way out of play down the right field line. 58 pitches through 3 2/3 innings. Not an elite rate, but also not a bad rate for the starter tonight. If he can get out of this inning with limiting the damage, he'll probably get another one. And that one's going to be chopped to the shortstop. He flips it on to the first baseman. He makes a nice pick for out number 3. But the damage is done. Liam Wilson with a deep home run to the left center gap to give the Royals a 1-0 lead. We'll be right back. You're watching Royals TV.
Hardline drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rollins.
Back to David E. Hastings Stadium, where we have a 1-0 game between the Guelph Royals and the Welland Jackfish off a solo home run from Liam Wilson in the bottom of the 4th. And the Welland Jackfish have some cleaning up to do. Mateo Porcelato back in the batter's box in his second at-bat.
Garcia, in his 5th inning of work, puts a fastball on the inner half of the plate for strike number 1 against the heavy-hitting Mateo Porcelato. 0 for 1 on the night with a flyout, I believe, but batting .419 on the season with 23 strikeouts, 36 hits, and 20 RBIs.
Porcelato went to a full count against Edgar Garcia, sends that one into left center field, deep for J.D. Williams. And he tracks that one down, sitting down Porcelato for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, nice job by Garcia there. After the home run in the last inning, you want your pitcher to come out and throw a good performance. Gets Porcelato with a liner towards the center field gap. And quickly 1 out as he will face Austin Gom. We were talking about this a little earlier. With the lowest batting average in the Jackfish lineup, still hitting above 250 on the season.
Struck out in his last at-bat. The last strikeout Edgar Garcia threw was against Austin Gom in the top of the third.
Gom takes an off-speed for strike number 1. Yeah, Garcia's just, even without the strikeouts, only 3 on the night, which is low for his standards, has been absolutely excellent, getting some soft contact. As that one misses on the outside corner, but getting some soft contact, and also the defense behind him has really, really tightened up since the last couple of games, and exactly what you want to see here from the Royals.
And just tonight, the outfield for the Guelph Royals tracking very well on the deep hits from the Welland Jackfish, specifically J.D. Williams and Ashton Patterson with several reps here tonight just through 5 innings.
Yeah, well, and the other factor that makes that just as much impressive is we've gone from the sun blaring down on you to now the twilight with under the lights, so it's easy to lose the ball in either situation. As the 2-1 misses low for ball number 3. So 3-1 count here on
Edgar Garcia with 3 straight breaking balls. Through the first strike, the fastball down the middle could go back to that on a less than stellar hitter in Austin Gom. And he gets him on a heavy swing. Brings it to a full count with 1 away.
the 3-2 from Garcia is lined to the center fielder Williams, who tracks it down and makes a nice running catch for out number 2. As we were just talking about, the defense from the outfielders tonight from the Royals has been absolutely stellar. Williams ranging to his left on that play makes a wonderful catch.
Edgar Garcia throwing another fastball down the middle. Austin Gom learned from the last pitch, sends that one deep into right center field. But J.D. Williams covers a lot of ground from dead center and is able to record the second out on a nice play and keep the Welland Jackfish sitting at 0 runs.
And that will bring up the number 8 hitter, Brendan Luther, who 1 for 1 on the night, batting .389 on the season.
Brendan Luther able to make his way to third base off a single, a stolen base, and another single from Jonah Weisner. Stranded there. Wasn't able to score the first run for the Welland Jackfish, but gets his second crack at Edgar Garcia.
And Garcia in that inning able to bounce back nicely after the single and the wild pitch to get the final out. And we'll see what he has in store here for Luther. The 0-1 misses low.
Brendan Luther batting .383 on the year with 41 hits and 107 at-bats for the Welland Jackfish. 2 home runs, 18 RBIs, and 14 walks. Is an all-around threat and brings some versatility into the bottom half of the batting order for the Jackfish.
The 1-1 misses way inside. Luther had to jump out of the way on that one. And that'll bring the count to 2-1. Ward just missing that ball hit. You could hear it hit off of his glove, but not able to get the block there. Thankfully, no runners on base, but
still 2 away for the Guelph Royals. Edgar Garcia, 2 balls and a strike.
Long look in from Garcia. The 2-1 is chopped towards the second baseman, LaRue. He'll flip it on to Wilson at first for the third out of the inning. So what a job by Garcia. Through 5 innings, no runs allowed, 3 strikeouts on just 3 hits as we head to the bottom of the 5th.
Edgar Garcia with 7 straight batters sat down. 0 strikeouts in that strand, but makes up for the shaky top of the 3rd, allowing 2 men on base. And 190 feet away from scoring, Edgar Garcia with some momentum coming out of the top of the 5th.
Yeah, great stuff from Garcia. Not the strikeouts that we were expecting, but the defense from the Royals has been holding up very, very nicely. And we were hearing the manager early. We were talking about the manager early tonight and his comments about the defense, and seem irrelevant now with how they're playing tonight. Some great stuff from the center and left fielders, or truly all around the outfield, also over at third base. Good stuff. And Halen Knoll will come out for his 5th inning of work, just 1 run allowed through 5 innings.
Edgar Garcia also doing minimal damage, or some damage control to his pitch count as well, with a quick inning, with back-to-back quick innings, with 6 straight flyouts or groundouts. Halen Knoll needs to take a page out of that book, put a stop to this growing pitch count, which grew even more after the home run from Liam Wilson.
Yeah, Knoll at 59 pitches on the night. You want to be at about somewhere between 10 to 15 pitches, 10 pitches being elite through per inning. So he's right at that 15 mark. So not a ton of pitches per inning, but not on pace to go super deep in this ball game, especially if the Royals can get to him here in the bottom of the 5th.
Bottom of the 5th, with the Royals leading 1-0. Leading off for your Royals, the right fielder, number 28, Ethan Hammond.
That'll bring up Ethan Hammond. Walked in his last at-bat, has yet to register an at-bat on the night.
Ethan Hammond got stopped in his tracks after an ambitious leadoff in his last at-bat. Got picked off by Halen Knoll, rendering that walk useless. Gets his 2nd crack at Knoll here tonight.
First pitch from Knoll missed off the plate on the outside half, ball number 1. Hammond able to foul that one back to level the count at 1-1. He's batting .241 on the season after that last at-bat. 10 walks, 15 strikeouts, 20 hits in 83 at-bats from the Oakville native. 1-1. That one's lined towards the gap in left center, but center fielder Gio Morello will come on to make the catch to register the first out of the inning.
Gio Morello, one of the fastest center fielders in the entire league, able to cover that ground with ease, and is able to retire Ethan Hammond very quickly to record the first out in the bottom of the 5th for the Welland Jackfish.
Yeah, well, you know what they say. 70% of the earth is covered by water, the rest is covered by Gio Morello.
J.D. Williams swinging for the fences on that one. Looked like he pulled a hip coming up from that. Struck out in his last at-bat after a deep pitch battle with Halen Knoll. Ended up swinging on a slider outside of the strike zone. Looking for some revenge here.
Yeah, as Williams will take ball number 1 there, but Williams, an excellent hitter, great skills, great power, good runner there out there, but one issue in his game is the strikeouts. He's struck out 28 times so far on the season, walked just 7. The 1-1. Slider misses off the plate for ball number 2.
J.D. Williams averaging well over a strikeout per game. Already has one here tonight, but gets ahead on the count with 2 balls and a strike on Halen Knoll.
And that one's fouled out of play. Williams stands at 5'11", 190 pounds. He's 26 years old, born in Toronto, Ontario. Spent some time with the Quebec Capitals of the Canadian American League. Also was drafted by the Cincinnati Reds back in 2015. That one misses off the plate, and that will load the count.
J.D. Williams in a 2nd straight full count against Halen Knoll. Struck out in the last one. He's only walked 8 times on the season.
The payoff pitch misses low, so Williams registers his 8th walk of the season here in the 5th. And that will bring up Jordan Gallo, who's 0 for 1 on the night, batting .257. Gallo grounded out in the third to the second baseman, Weisner.
Halen Knoll walked back to the mound and wanted that one back. Thought he could catch the swing heavy J.D. Williams with a breaking ball down in the zone. Can't quite clip it. As Gallo sends that one right up the middle. Gets on base with a single. Puts a runner into scoring position in the form of J.D. Williams.
Well, and the Royals in business here with just 1 out in the inning. Runners on first and second. And that will bring up the quick and speedy Ashton Patterson.
Ashton Patterson with 20 strikeouts on the year, just batting .121. However, a threat when he gets on the base path with 2 stolen bases on the year and 7 walks. So still provides an offensive threat in the 9 slot for the Guelph Royals. Puts that one into shallow right. It's caught by Brandon Hupe, and he strands the runners as the Welland Jackfish record a second out.
Williams went back to tag on the play, but the ball just not hit deep enough, not wanting to test the arm of Brandon Hupe out there. So the runners remain at first and second as the top of the order will come up with Brando LaRue. LaRue 0 for 2 on the night against Halen Knoll, but third time through the order is when the batters have the advantage. He's seen the pitcher twice. We'll see what adjustments he's able to make in this at-bat. That one's chopped to the shortstop. He'll flip it over to second for the quick out, and that will end the inning. So the Royals, no runs on a hit and a walk, as we will head to the top of the 6th. You're watching Royals TV. We'll be right back.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com, because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Hardline drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rollins.
Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium. You're watching Royals TV. Myself and Cam Sterling here on the mic. Edgar Garcia back out for his 6th inning of work, and he's thrown just 60 pitches on the night, 3 strikeouts, 3 hits, no runs allowed, and he will face Brandon Hupe.
Edgar Garcia keeping the top team in the IBL scoreless so far. Just 3 hits on the night. He's been making quick work of the Welland Jackfish in the last 2 innings of play without a man on base in the last 7 batters. But there's always a threat around the corner with the Welland Jackfish.
Swing and miss on the pitch, and that will put the count at 0-2 on Hupe. It's going to be very key for Garcia to get Hupe here. Going to end up turning things over to the top of the order after this batter. You'd much rather face Weisner with nobody on than with a runner on base.
Brandon Hupe flew out in his last at-bat. Goes behind early with 2 straight strikes from Edgar Garcia.
The 0-2 is a fly ball that will make its way out of play down the right field line.
Edgar Garcia still with a little bit of wiggle room on Brandon Hupe, with no balls recorded quite yet.
Well, that's been a trend with Garcia tonight. 43 strikes to just 20 balls, so the command has been elite from Garcia here in this one. The 0-2 misses and will make its way to the backstop. Garcia trying to get the chase there from Hupe. Just misses too far out of the zone on a non-competitive pitch.
Edgar Garcia with the 5th pitch. Sends that one a bit too low as the count is even on Brandon Hupe.
Starts off 0-2, then goes with 2 pitches trying to get the chase. Misses badly with both non-competitive pitches. Long look in, he comes set. The 2-2 from Garcia. Misses low, and that will bring the count to 3-2 here against Hupe, the number 9 hitter.
Garcia tries to go back to the fastball. Can't quite clip the bottom of the zone. Hupe reads it the whole way. Brings the 0-2 count up to full.
Garcia just holding on to that pitch slightly too long, spikes it into the dirt. Last thing you want to do is walk the number 9 hitter. The payoff pitch. Fouled straight back over the press box here at Hastings.
Edgar Garcia picks a good spot in the bottom left corner of the strike zone. Hupe able to get under it just enough to make it a foul ball. Fouling it back into the netting. Keeps the at-bat alive for the Welland Jackfish.
Totally off topic, but that car alarm sound effect freaks me out every single time they play it. The 3-2 from Garcia. And that's a fly ball towards the right fielder. Hammond runs in and makes the catch for out number 1. So Garcia, after going up 0-2, brings the count to full and then is able to get the fly ball out to Hammond for out number 1. Does raise his pitch count a little bit in the process on a 7-pitch at bat.
A huge out from Ethan Hammond. Had a long run down to the right field foul line. After a big pitch battle between Edgar Garcia and Brandon Hupe, the payoff is there from Ethan Hammond out in right field. Getting his first big look at a running fly ball. Records the first out for the Guelph Royals.
First pitch, Jonah Weisner misses on the outside half. Weisner, that'll bring up the 3rd time through the order for Garcia. Weisner 1 for 2 on the night.
Jonah Weisner picked up a single in his last at-bat in the top of the 3rd.
And next one misses inside. Weisner quickly ahead 2-0 against Garcia.
Garcia, although with a couple big pitch battles in the last few batters, has sat down 8 straight batters for the Guelph Royals. But back up to the top of the batting order.
Weisner fouls that one back. First strike of the at-bat for Garcia brings the count to 2-1 here. Got a good piece of it, but was just very late on it. Lined it straight into the parking lot. The 2-1. That's a fly ball into the left center gap. Patterson is there. He will make the catch for out number 2. So Garcia goes down 2-0, but works the count back and is able to get the fly ball to Weisner, and that's quickly 2 outs. And that will bring up the center fielder, Gio Morello, who had a very nice catch in the last
Center
inning.
fielder number 11,
Gio Morello 0 for 2 on the night in the 2 slot for the Welland Jackfish. Batting .341 on the year before tonight's game. Has been great on the defensive side, but hasn't solved Edgar Garcia quite yet.
He'll line this one to the left fielder. Patterson is there, and he will bring that one in for the 3rd out of the inning. So no damage done here in the 6th. A trio of fly balls. Some good defense by the Royals outfield yet again here on the night. And Garcia is through 6 innings, no runs allowed, and just 3 hits.
Another quick inning from Edgar Garcia, aside from the pitch battle between him and Hupe leading off the inning. But Edgar Garcia keeping his pitch count fairly low after 6 innings pitched, and sits down 10 straight batters here at David E. Hastings Stadium.
Yeah, just 73 pitches on the night through 6 innings at an elite rate here. Alan Knoll coming back out for his 6th inning of work here. Nobody up in either bullpen here at Hastings, so it's likely Knoll's inning unless things go crazy wrong.
Kalen Knoll back on the mound for the Welland Jackfish. His pitch count keeps climbing after 5 innings played. He's given up a couple of hits, including the solo home run by Liam Wilson in the bottom of the 4th, which made this game a 1-0 game heading into bottom of the 6th. He's able to make it out of the 5th inning cleanly with a hit and a walk. But still has some work to do heading into his 6th inning of work.
Yeah, well, and truly a very good outing from Knoll so far. Just the 1 run allowed on the 1 mistake pitch to Wilson, but when you don't have any offense from the Jackfish, it's tough as the pitcher. He's putting his best foot forward, arguably his best outing of the season so far, but nothing to show for it.
Your shortstop, number 6, Connor Morrow.
And that will bring up Connor Morrow. Morrow, 0 for 2 on the night thus far with 2 strikeouts. Or my mistake, with a strikeout and a ground out. He'll face Knoll for the 3rd time tonight.
Halen Knoll already into his longest performance of the 2025 season, beating his 1 start, which came in the form of a win against the Toronto Maple Leafs on July 11th. Put up 5 innings pitched with 7 hits and 4 earned runs and 8 strikeouts on that evening's game with a 15-5 win. Already performing much better with just 1 run allowed in 6 innings.
As that one's bunted right back to Knoll, and he'll flip it on to first for the 1st out of the inning. And I gotta say, pitching 5 innings of 4-run ball at Christie Pitts with the small field there, not even a bad performance from Knoll. Kind of a precursor to the way he's been pitching tonight. So, again, with the pedigree that he's had before joining the IBL, some clear development showing for Knoll, even though the Jackfish find themselves down 1-0.
He's gotten into a couple of jams with 3 earned runs against the Barrie Baycats on June 14th through an inning pitched, and a 4 earned run inning performance against the London Majors on June 28th. But other than that, has been fairly spotless as a reliever, performing very well recently as a starter. Once again, that 1 home run, that 1 blemish on his game here tonight gives the Guelph Royals a 1-run lead.
And Takamatsu up now, quickly down 0-2 after a strike and a foul off. Takamatsu 1 for 2 on the night with a single and a fly out. Singled in the 1st, flew out in the 4th. He'll face Knoll for the 3rd time here, but he's down 0-2 quickly.
Garrett Takamatsu, the only Guelph Royal batting over 300 on the season.
The 0-2 from Knoll is way up and in. Takamatsu had to duck out of the way for that one. And that is the first ball of the at-bat. Count sits at 1-2.
Halen Knoll shaking up the top hitter in the Royals dugout a little bit, getting ahead on the count with 2 straight strikes.
That's a trend that we've seen from Knoll tonight. When he gets ahead in the count, he'll come inside. As you see it right again there, misses just on the inside corner, trying to make the hitter uncomfortable in an 0-2 count. Now the count sits even at 2-2 against Takamatsu.
If there's one hitter in the Guelph Royals dugout that it's fairly difficult to shutter, it would be Garrett Takamatsu, as he takes that slider outside, gets this count full.
Yeah, well, and that is the thing with Takamatsu. He's such a feared hitter that even when he goes down in 0-2, pitchers are going to be afraid to come into the zone because they know he can hit it. So gets 3 balls there and brings the count to full. Payoff pitch. That's a fly ball towards the center fielder. He's going back. And that one is gone. Takamatsu with the second home run of the night for the Guelph Royals extends the lead to 2-0 here in the 6th. Oh, what's happening? Stopped by the umpire. And I believe that they are sending him to second base and calling that one a double. I don't quite understand what's happening there. It's possible that it hit off the top of the wall. Takamatsu asking for an explanation from the umpires. A little unclear in this situation, but they will end up with Takamatsu at second base with Liam Wilson coming up to bat.
Takamatsu hit that one in almost the deepest part of David E. Hastings Stadium. If that ball was anywhere else, that would be a home run and a 2-run lead for the Guelph Royals. Instead, Guelph Royals with a runner in scoring position. And the previous home run hitter, Liam Wilson, making his way to the batter's box to possibly try and make this a 3-0 game.
Well, you can see just there Robert Mullen putting his hand down on the chalk line, potentially anticipating a throw towards third or second here. First pitch to Wilson is a fly ball towards the left field. That is going to end up in no man's land. What a catch by the first baseman, Barrett. He throws it over to third, and he will get the out. Oh, and it's dropped. So no double play for the Jackfish, but Grayson Barrett with a spectacular sliding grab in foul territory to get the second out of the inning.
That could have been one of the best double plays of this 2025 season. Grayson Barrett giving chase all the way down to the stands. Makes the diving play on the warning track to retire Liam Wilson. Gets the ball with plenty of time to the third baseman, Mateo Porcelato, but he drops the ball after tagging Garrett Takamatsu. So instead of the double play and the bottom of the 6th coming to an end, the Guelph Royals with a runner 90 feet away from home plate.
Well, and that is not what you want to see as a Royals fan to get the out there, but a little bit of breathing room with a runner at third here. And that will bring up Matthew Ward. Ward 0 for 2 on the night with a fly out and a ground out. Come up with a runner just 90 feet away, but he'll need a base hit to drive him in with 2 outs in the inning.
Matthew Ward batting .269 before tonight's game. Just 8 RBIs on the season through 25 games. Hasn't capitalized on runners in scoring position an incredible amount this season.
First pitch to Ward, misses off the plate for ball number 1.
Couple of chaotic at-bats with a almost home run from Garrett Takamatsu. And a big, almost double play off a throw from Grayson Barrett. But the game slows down as Halen Knoll has to deal with Matthew Ward.
Ward chops that one foul for strike number 1. Yeah, just a chaotic sequence of events here. Takamatsu on that swing so clearly thought that was out of the park, rounding second confidently, but is sent back by the umpire. And then an incredible sliding catch by Grayson Barrett. 1-1 here on Ward. And that nicks the outside corner for strike number 2. He throws over to third, but Takamatsu standing right there, so probably just some mind games there from the catcher, Robert Mullen.
Garrett Takamatsu gives Mullen a long look. Why'd you do that look?
Yeah, well, and there is history between these two teams, as previously mentioned. This is a rematch of the championship from last season, and so far this season, the Jackfish have had the Royals number, beating them all 3 times. The 1-2 misses up for ball number 2, so 2's all around here. 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs in the inning.
Fantastic look by Matthew Ward, just millimeters away from clipping the top of the strike zone. Matthew Ward with 15 walks on the year sees the strike zone very well, with an even account on Halen Knoll.
And he fouls that one down the first base line. Staying alive here. Halen Knoll's pitch count up to 85 now, but nobody throwing in the Jackfish bullpen. A couple of people up, pacing around, doing some arm swings, but this is Knoll's inning to finish.
Matthew Ward once again with a runner at third.
And the 2-2 pitch is a fly ball towards the center fielder, Morello. He'll come on to make the running catch to retire the side. So after all of that, the Takamatsu home run fake out and the sliding catch, the Royals unable to capitalize here on in the 6th. We'll head to the top of the 7th. You're watching Royals TV.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com, because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Hardline drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rollins.
Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium. You're watching Royals TV, a matchup between the Guelph Royals and the Welland Jackfish. Edgar Garcia back out for his 7th inning of work in what has been arguably his best start of the season so far. Last time out against Barry, no slouch, but 6.2 innings pitched and 2 earned runs allowed, and then time before that against Kitchener, 4.1 innings pitched and 2 earned runs. Right now he's through 7 with no runs allowed.
Edgar Garcia also sitting down 10 straight batters had a bit of a jam in the bottom of the third, but top of the third, sorry, but has been spotless since.
He's facing Pierre-Olivier Boucher, who's 0 for 2 on the night with a strikeout, but finds himself ahead in the count here, 2-0. Garcia talking to his shortstop a little bit there.
Legs starting to move over in the Guelph Royals bullpen. Edgar Garcia goes down 3-0 in the count.
Garcia letting that ball count creep up a little bit here. He's thrown 28 balls on the night with 48 strikes. So the ratio is still good, but in the last innings, the command lacking a little bit. And that one misses up and in, and he will walk the leadoff hitter for the Welland Jackfish.
First man on base for the Welland Jackfish in 3 innings now, in the form of Pierre-Olivier Boucher. Put some speed on the base paths for the Welland Jackfish with the most powerful hitter coming out of the dugout in Robert Mullen.
Mullen batting .284 on the season. He's 1 for 2 tonight thus far. He's singled back in the second, but was left stranded. First pitch of the at-bat is swung on and missed for strike one, so Garcia finding the command again here against the Jackfish cleanup hitter.
An absolutely dirty strike coming from Edgar Garcia. Throws with pure velocity in the bottom of the strike zone. Catches Robert Mullen swinging for the fences with no contact. Gets ahead early, but Robert Mullen sees that one well and evens out the count 1-1.
Boucher with a relatively conservative lead over at first, just in line with the grass there. The 1-1, and he's going. The throw from Ward is not in time as Boucher steals with ease.
The throw from Ward sliced a little bit to the right, out of way for second baseman Brando LaRue. Not in time either, so Pierre-Olivier Boucher able to notch his 6th stolen base in just 12 games played.
Boucher with an excellent jump on that pitch there. Left just before Garcia raised the leg, and Ward had no chance, especially with the throw taking LaRue off the bag. The 2-1 to Mullen is inside for ball number 3.
Robert Mullen had to step out of the way of that one. That one went right by the shins. Edgar Garcia takes the count to 3-1. As the 5th pitch winds up. It's fouled out into the parking lot by Robert Mullen with a full count and 0 outs.
After getting ahead 0-1, he pitches 3 straight balls to the Jackfish cleanup hitter, gets the foul ball there to load the count at 3-2. So big pitch coming here late in this ball game with a runner in scoring position and the cleanup hitter at the plate. Garcia. And that one misses low. The slider just not able to stay in the zone, and that is runners on first and second for the Welland Jackfish. Movement out in the Royals bullpen. Can't quite tell who is throwing yet.
I believe that's Owen Newman out there for the Guelph Royals.
A little mound visit here for the Royals. No manager out from the dugout, so this is still Garcia's inning for the time being.
Edgar Garcia with 2 straight walks, a little bit shaken up with a very powerful hitter in the batter's box in the form of Grayson Barrett, and 2 runners on base with 1 in scoring position with speed in Pierre-Olivier Boucher. But Edgar Garcia staying on the mound with 0 outs recorded. Has some damage control to do.
Grayson Barrett at the dish with runners on first and second, no outs. Third baseman playing just on the grass, possibly anticipating the sacrifice here. Long look in from Garcia. And he bunts it up the line. Garcia fields it, throws it on to first for the first out, but the runners advance to second and third. So now 2 runners in scoring position for the Jackfish, and that will bring up Mateo Porchelato. 0 for 2 on the night, but an incredible hitter, the Pitt Meadows native, batting .414 on the season, 36 hits and 85 at bats thus far.
Smart play from Grayson Barrett there with getting 2 runners into scoring position with no outs recorded. Had some wiggle room. Recorded the first out for the Guelph Royals, but nonetheless, Pierre-Olivier Boucher on third, and Robert Mullen on second, and still plenty of powerful bats to go.
And Garcia will elect to walk Mateo Porchelato with the open base, potentially setting up the double play here, choosing to face Austin Gaum instead in this situation, who has a batting average essentially half of Mateo Porchelato.
Smart play from Edgar Garcia. Mateo Porchelato batting .424 on the year. With a base hit, would have sent 1, possibly 2 runs into home plate for the Welland Jackfish. So loading the bases, and with a man in the batter's box, only batting .250 on the year.
And that one's lined to the right fielder, and he will make the catch. The runner tagging from third and second. The Jackfish are on the board with the first run of the night as Ethan Hammond makes the catch there. Runners on the corners with 2 outs here for Edgar Garcia.
It's a tough position for the Guelph Royals to be put in. We're able to record the second out. The nice tracking play from Ethan Hammond out in right field. But there's not much you can do with speed on the base path. And Pierre-Olivier Boucher, who was able to make it to home plate and score the first run for the Welland Jackfish in plenty of time. And tie this game up 1-1 in the top of the 7th.
Now the Royals catch a break there. Gaum hit that ball on a line, but hit it directly towards Hammond in left field. So limiting the damage there with just 1 run allowed, and he'll face Brendan Luther with 2 outs here and runners on the corners.
Robert Mullen just 90 feet away from putting up a 1-run lead for the Welland Jackfish. Edgar Garcia 2 away, and a strike recorded on Brendan Luther. Looks to get out of this inning with a tie game.
The 0-1 from Garcia is hit on the ground to the third baseman. He's not able to make the play. 1 run comes in to score. The runner's advancing to third. The throw is not in time as Luther makes it up to second on the play, and the Jackfish take a 2-1 lead here in the 7th.
A sharp line drive from Brendan Luther puts that right by the third baseman, Jordan Gallo, unable to make the play off a tough bounce off the dirt. And Brendan Luther able to make his way to second base and put a second runner into scoring position and put the Welland Jackfish up 2-1 in the top of the 7th.
A heck of a try there by Jordan Gallo, one of the better defensive third basemen with just 2 errors on the season thus far, but to no avail as the Jackfish are able to take the lead here late in this ball game. First pitch to Brandon Hupe in there for strike number 1.
Brendan Hupe went deep into a pitch battle with Edgar Garcia, went above 7 pitches. Edgar Garcia able to get out of that one cleanly with a fly out. The job is not finished with 2 away and an even count on Hupe and 2 runners in scoring position for the Welland Jackfish.
Fatigue probably getting to Garcia right now. He's been unable to locate the slider here in the 7th inning, missing with it consistently low and outside against these Jackfish righties.
As we mentioned, Owen Newman still warming up in the Guelph Royals bullpen. Edgar Garcia goes down the count with 2 balls and a strike.
With the top of the order coming up, this is likely Garcia's last batter of the game, regardless of the outcome. The 2-1 misses low and in, and that is a 3-1 count here on the number 9 hitter.
Garcia getting a little bit rattled, pounded his glove, wanting the bottom corner of that strike zone. Instead goes down even more with a 3-1 count. Wants that one back.
The 3-1. Fouled straight into the catcher, Ward. He's feeling that one. Umpire walking out to the mound to give Garcia the ball, just to give Ward a second to recuperate there. And that loads the count at 3-2 here with 2 outs and 2 runners in scoring position. So big pitch coming up here for Garcia.
Matthew Ward taking a minute to get back behind home plate. The full count, 2 away. 2 runners in scoring position for the Welland Jackfish. The biggest pitch of tonight's game so far. Garcia taking a long look into home. Pitches away. And gets him.
Called strike 3 for Garcia. Allows 2 runs in the inning, but is able to work his way out of the jam and limit the damage. The Welland Jackfish take the lead here in the 7th, so cue the bats for the Guelph Royals.
It's a massive strikeout from Edgar Garcia, but did not get out of that inning unscathed, as the Welland Jackfish are able to get a 2-1 lead here at David E. Hastings Stadium.
Call to the bullpen for the Welland Jackfish. If he turns around, then we can see his number and let you know who he is. That's left-handed pitcher Danny Howitt, 21 years old, out of Sherwood Park, Alberta. Stands at 6'2", 245 pounds, a commanding presence on the top of the Hastings mound here. Pitched with the Ontario Nationals back in 2021. Features a 3-pitch mix, fastball, curveball, changeup here.
Danny Howitt has been incredibly commanding coming out of the bullpen for the Welland Jackfish this season. Appearing in 8 games so far with 12 1/3 innings pitched. One of the lowest ERAs coming out of the bullpen for the Welland Jackfish, sitting at 2.18 before tonight's game. 8 strikeouts, 10 hits, and just 3 walks on the year for Howitt.
He will face the left fielder Ethan Hammond in his first appearance.
Danny Howitt doesn't pound the strike zone too much with a 5.838 Ks per 9. Doesn't walk a lot either with a 2.189 walks per 9.
More of a finesse, soft contact kind of pitcher.
And an overall consistent arm for the Welland Jackfish, looking to save this 2-1 lead.
Due up for the Royals, we have Ethan Hammond, followed by J.D. Williams and Jordan Gallo, hoping to get back that run that was just given up in the top of the 7th. In a situation here where Garcia likely done for the night, but pitched an excellent game going through 7 innings, allowing just 2 earned runs. So it's time to pick up your pitcher. And it all starts here with Ethan Hammond.
Ethan Hammond 0 for 1 on the night, walked in the bottom of the second, but was picked off, so hasn't done incredible damage on the base path so far this evening. Gets his first look at Danny Howitt.
Shows bunt on the 0-1 pitch, but pulls it back. And no swing, says the umpire, so the count moves to 1-1 on Ethan Hammond.
The outside infielders hanging in as Ethan Hammond likes to pull the ball down the foul line.
The 1-1 is in there for strike number 2. Welland turning towards the lefty here against Hammond, hoping for a quick inning to get the hot bats back out there. And that's a called strike 3 on Hammond, nicks the outside corner, and the Royals quickly here with the first out of the inning, bringing up J.D. Williams. Walked in his last at-bat, also struck out earlier tonight. In total 0 for 1.
J.D. Williams had a few pitch battles here tonight with Hale and Knoll. It's his first look at Danny Howitt. As you said, a strikeout and a walk on the night. Bunts that one down the left foul line. And Mateo Porcelato with a quick fire throw to first base. And is able to retire J.D. Williams on the first pitch he sees. And record the second out.
What a job there by Porcelato, getting to the ball quickly, barehanding it and shoving it on to first. Throws a strike to the first baseman there for a quick second out in the inning. And that brings up Jordan Gallo here with 2 outs and no runners on to face the lefty. First time facing a lefty tonight.
That's a very well-placed bunt from J.D. Williams, but nonetheless an even better throw from Porcelato. Brings up Jordan Gallo. Picked up a single in his last at-bat against Hale and Knoll.
The 1-0 from Howitt is swung on and missed. Throws the curveball there, changes up the pace a little bit, and gets himself a strike here. And the 1-1 just nicks the outside corner, going to the changeup there. Puts it into the zone. And quickly now, down 1-2. And that's a swing and a miss for strike 3, so what an inning by Danny Howitt. Quickly disposes of the Guelph Royals here and secures the 2-1 lead for the Welland Jackfish. We'll head towards the top of the 8th. It's the Jackfish 2 and the Royals 1.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Hard line drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rollins.
Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium. Myself, Noam Streifer, and Cam Sterling on the mic here, and we have got a new pitcher into the game, Nelson Mercado. The Brampton, Ontario native, 21 years old, stands at 6'3", 230 pounds. Spent some time at the University of Arkansas at Monticello and Connors State in the NJCAA.
The second baseman.
Cam, I know you have some thoughts?
Nelson Mercado has been a fairly consistent arm out of the bullpen for the Guelph Royals this season, with 10 appearances and 1 start under his belt. He's played 20 and 2/3 innings pitched. Has a few command issues, walking 19 batters in those 20 innings, but struck out 26 on 20 hits.
And he comes in with a tough task, facing the top 3 in the Jackfish lineup, starting with Jonah Weisner. First pitch to Weisner is way outside for ball number 1. Weisner 1 for 3 on the night. Singled back in the third, but came around to third base, but was unable to come in to score. The 1-0. Misses outside and high again, so Mercado quickly in a 2-0 hole against the Jackfish leadoff hitter.
Jonah Weisner held fairly quiet, all things considered, with a single on tonight's game. 5 home runs, 23 RBIs, and 18 walks on the night. It's an all-around defensive threat that the Guelph Royals have been able to push aside.
Yeah, well, and I think that's part of why just 2 runs on the night for the Jackfish. And the 2-0 misses outside yet again. Mercado consistently so far missing arm side with the fastball. 3-0 count here on Weisner, who, if I'm the Jackfish manager, is getting the green light. No need for that, though, as that pitch misses off the plate yet again. So a 4-pitch walk for Mercado right out of the bullpen. And that puts the leadoff hitter on base for the Jackfish, with Gio Morello coming up to bat.
Center fielder.
Nelson Mercado throws a lot of strikes, but a lot of balls as well. With a Ks per 9 of 11.323, bounced the strike zone quite a bit. An 8.274 walks per 9 puts him as the second highest coming out of the Guelph Royals bullpen. Finds the strike zone on that one for the first strike on Gio Morello.
Good comeback pitch there from Mercado after surrendering the 4-pitch walk. Starts off the number 2 hitter with a strike. Gio Morello, no slouch himself, batting .337 on the season with 34 hits and 98 at-bats. Weisner's going for second. Ward with the throw, and it's not in time as Weisner easily steals second. Got a great jump on the play. And the Jackfish quickly, a runner in scoring position here in the 8th, trying to add on some insurance.
Jonah Weisner able to steal his 12th base of the 2025 season. Brings a whole lot of speed on the base path for the Welland Jackfish, and now puts a runner into scoring position with 0 outs recorded.
1-1 to Morello. Misses arm side yet again. So now 2-1 count here in the 8th. Mercado struggling with the command a little bit early in this outing, consistently missing on the arm side with the fastball. Misses low there again, bringing the count to 3-1. Possibly a little bit distracted by Weisner out there at second, who has a pretty generous lead and just stole a base against Mercado. Looks back. The 3-1. And that's swung on and missed, and that will load the count at 3-2.
Morello getting tired of looking at pitches. Swings for the fence on that one. Gets none of it. And Mercado builds his count up to full.
Mercado has some command issues, but when he is on, he is excellent. Some of the best stuff that I've seen in the IBL. Full count pitch here. And it misses low, so he's walked 2 in a row now. Runners on first and second for the Jackfish as Morello heads over to first. And that is going to bring up Pierre-Olivier Boucher.
Left fielder.
With 2 straight walks, that naturally prompts a mound visit as Mercado, struggling to find the strike zone, has missed on the arm side 8 times in 2 batters.
Nobody throwing yet in the Royals bullpen, but a couple of people again out there pacing around, swinging their arms. So for now it's Mercado's inning, but if things continue to unravel, we'll see what happens. Umpire heading out to the mound now.
Mound visit went a little bit too long, so the home plate umpire putting a stop to it as Nelson Mercado takes his place on the mound once again, staying out there. 0 outs recorded and 2 men on base for the Welland Jackfish. A lot of work to do in the top of the 8th.
Pierre-Olivier Boucher is the batter. 0 for 2 on the night, but has walked once and scored a run for the Jackfish. Mercado has his work cut out for him with the number 3 hitter and 2 runners on. First pitch misses low yet again. Low and outside, a little bit missing arm side there. Still an issue for Mercado.
Pierre-Olivier Boucher was able to score off a sacrifice fly from Austin Gom. Porchelato got walked voluntarily in his last at-bat. Loading the bases against Edgar Garcia, gets his first look at Mercado. That one's on the arm side once again.
Yeah.
Bringing the count up to 3-0.
Tough stuff here for Mercado. Cannot quite find the release point on the fastball. Walked the first 2 runners and now 3-0 on Boucher here. Checks Wisner at second. The 3-0 misses outside yet again, so he walks the bases loaded here in the top of the 8th. And now a dangerous hitter in Robert Mullen coming to the plate with the bases loaded. Nowhere to put him this time.
The catcher, number 23, Robert Mullen.
The first right-handed batter, Nelson Mercado, is getting a look at. Missing arm side away from 3 straight lefty batters. Could pose a problem against Robert Mullen, who likes to pull the ball inside. It's a recipe for disaster.
First pitch misses just up for Mercado. You'll notice the Royals infield has moved in. Likely play at the plate here with the ground ball. Second pitch misses yet again. 2-0 count. Mercado struggling here with a 13 balls at just 2 strikes ratio.
7 straight balls from Nelson Mercado and counting. Begs the question, when is it time to pull?
There is somebody throwing up in the Royals bullpen as of now. Mercado likely on the last stretch of his appearance here unless something miraculous happens. And 3-0 is pumped in there. His first strike in 8 straight pitches. The count sits at 3-1 here on Robert Mullen with the bases loaded. Mercado looking to get out of a jam and limit the damage here. No outs in the inning. The 3-1. And that's a fly ball towards the left fielder. Patterson on the run, and that ball is going to get out of play. No way Patterson could have made that catch there. So the count moves to full.
Robert Mullen hit that ball hard and was aiming for the fences for the grand slam. Pulled it a little bit too far left and makes this count full for Nelson Mercado to put a bit of a dent into this Welland Jackfish batting order, taking out the most powerful hitter of the dugout.
Fans at Hastings getting into it here, showing some support for Mercado on the full count. The 3-2. And it misses inside, so Mercado walks in a run. It's now a 3-1 lead for the Welland Jackfish. Bases remain loaded with no outs in the inning. Manager is coming out to the mound. That is likely the end of the night here for Mercado. And a tough one it was. 16 balls and just 4 strikes on 20 pitches. Did not register an out, and the Jackfish lead 3-1. We'll be right back with the new pitcher.
Back to David E. Hastings Stadium, where we have a new arm on the mound after a tough showing from Nelson Mercado, walking 4 straight batters here in the top of the 8th, making this a 3-1 game as the Guelph Royals give their newest acquisition a shot here in Chris Lazar, coming over from the Berry Bay Cats, who has been tasked with the job to dig out of this hole with bases loaded and Grayson Barrett up to bat. Chris Lazar has been fairly consistent with the Berry Bay Cats this season. Has 7 appearances with the Bay Cats, pitching 10 innings so far this season with 20 hits allowed, 9 strikeouts, and 7 walks.
Gets the swing and miss from Barrett on that one, so count at 1-1 here now.
0 outs recorded here in the top of the 8th. Bases loaded. A sizable hole for the Guelph Royals to dig out of. As that one's fouled back.
Fouled back off onto the roof here at the pavilion at Hastings. You can hear it rolling around a little bit up there. Never dropped down, so something to be conscious of on the field.
The outside infielders coming inside to the grass for the possible bunt from Grayson Barrett.
The 1-2 from Lazar is swung on and missed. What a job by Lazar coming out from the bullpen to get the first batter of the inning. And the Royals are a ground ball away from being out of this one.
Chris Lazar makes a fantastic first impression with a clutch strikeout on arguably the second best hitter in the Welland Jackfish dugout in Grayson Barrett. Keeps all 3 runners stranded and records the first out of the inning.
That brings up Mateo Porcelato. Porcelato intentionally walked in his last at-bat. Nowhere to put him this time with the bases loaded. And that one's lined right over the pitcher. Gets his head out of the way. 1 run comes in to score. Runner is rounding third, and he will score as well without a throw. And the Jackfish take a commanding 5-1 lead here in the top of the 8th.
Mateo Porcelato, although in the latter half of the batting order, is no slouch, batting an incredible 424. Puts that one almost off the noggin of Chris Lazar, but nonetheless over second base into the gap and is able to score 2 runs, putting up the Welland Jackfish 5-1. And all 5 runs being in the last 2 innings.
First pitch to Austin Gom is fouled back, and to your point there, tough play for Lazar, but thankfully able to get out of the way. That ball was literally inches from hitting him in the head on a hard line. So, damage done by the Jackfish, but thankfully Lazar is okay. The 0-1 misses off the plate to Gom. Gom 0 for 3 on the night, but flew out, had a sacrifice fly back in the top of the 7th.
Struck out in his first at-bat against Edgar Garcia. Getting his first look at Chris Lazar. And it's caught looking there for the second strike.
Lazar ahead 1 and 2. Runners on first and second here for the Jackfish. A strikeout here would be big towards getting the Royals out of this inning. The 1-2. That one's lined down the line, but it will go foul. Nice job by Gom to stay alive on that one.
Austin Gom got a decent bit of that ball, but pulls it a little too far left.
Gom early on the pitch. Lazar could come back here with something off speed. And he does just that, but misses on the inside corner. Swing and a miss or a ground ball here is what the Royals are looking for. Either one does them well to get out of this inning.
The runner on first and second for the Welland Jackfish.
Gom fouls another one off. Count remains at 2-2.
Austin Gom going up against his 7th pitch of the at-bat. Chris Lazar getting his reps up quick in his first appearance as a Guelph Royal.
Two. That one's chopped towards the shortstop. Not going to be hard enough for a double play, but he'll flip it onto Wilson at first for out number 2. Runners do advance on the play. So the Jackfish with runners on second and third, but 2 outs in the inning with Brendan Luther coming up.
Shortstop number 20, Brendan Luther.
Brendan Luther, one of the only Welland Jackfish to solve Edgar Garcia, went 2 for 3 so far tonight with a double and a single.
Also drove in a run.
It's his first look at Chris Lazar. with runners in scoring position.
And that's a fly ball towards the left fielder. And it lands in no man's land in foul territory, so the inning will continue. One strike here on Luther.
That ball a little bit out of reach from all three Royals giving chase. The third baseman, Jordan Gallo, got the closest. Just a little bit out of reach as the Welland Jackfish stay alive here in the top of the 8th.
And Gallo, Morrow, and Patterson all converging on that ball at the same time. Thankfully, nobody ran into each other. But no out recorded either, so the count remains at 0-1. And Lazar looking to get out of a jam. The 0-1, he hits it with the slider on the inside corner, backdoors it for strike number 2. So now Lazar in the driver's seat against Luther in this lefty-lefty matchup. Luther with the 0-2. My mistake, Lazar with the 0-2.
Lazar looking for that top right corner of the strike zone. Can't quite clip it as Luther reads it the whole way. Stays alive with the ball and 2 strikes, 2 away. 2 runners in scoring position.
And that one's chopped over towards the third baseman. It's the shortstop who will make the play. He flips it on to Wilson at first for out number 3. So the Royals able to get out of this inning on a nice play by Connor Morrow, but the damage is done. They scored 3 runs. And we head to the bottom of the 8th. You're watching Royals TV.
For Welland,
Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium. You're watching Guelph Royals TV. Myself, Noam Streifer, and Cam Sterling on the mic. We have got a new pitcher on the mound Euslades Lair is on to pitch for the Welland Jackfish. Spent some time in the Chicago White Sox organization from 2010 to 2016. And he starts it off with a strike.
Euslades Lair, a all-star starter for the Welland Jackfish coming up this weekend.
Quickly, Ashton Patterson down 0-2 against Lair.
An extremely deadly arm off the mound for the Welland Jackfish.
Patterson checks the swing, able to hold up.
Pitching in 8 appearances this season. 4 out of the bullpen, 4 starting for the Welland Jackfish. As he evens out the count against Ashton Patterson, 2-2. Taking no time on the mound. Quickly through 4 pitches.
Patterson lines that one right to the first baseman, Grayson Barrett, for the first out of the inning. Tough one there for Patterson. Got all of that ball, but happened to hit it right to the first baseman. And that is why baseball is cruel sometimes.
The Guelph Royals back up to the top of the batting order now, as Brando LaRue enters the batter's box for the 4th time this evening. It's been held quiet with 2 groundouts and a flyout. But Euslades Lair, with his patented quick pitches, takes no more than 5 seconds between every single pitch he throws.
And he's quickly ahead 0-2 against LaRue. Yeah, you can see as soon as he gets the ball, he is right back to the mound checking for the sign. LaRue barely even has time between pitches to get back into the box. 0-2. Fouled straight back into the parking lot at Hastings. The count remains at 0-2. Lair right back on the mound.
Euslades Lair with a 4-0 record this season and a 2.51 ERA has capitalized every single appearance he's had.
LaRue fouled that one back off of Mullen's mask, so
has been incredibly consistent with 34 strikeouts and just 14 hits and 6 walks on the season.
Misses there for ball number 1. Just the second ball he's thrown so far through the first 2 batters here in the bottom of the 8th. Misses outside again with the slider against LaRue. So after getting ahead 0-2, the count evens here at 2-2. Lair still working quickly and confidently. Misses outside yet again. Loads the count at 3-2.
Robert Mullen wanted that one. Was able to just throw a practice throw to first baseman Grayson Barrett. Instead, sitting at a full count against Brando LaRue.
And that's swung on and missed for strike 3. So Lair gets ahead 0-2. LaRue works the count back to full, but to no avail as he swings and misses right there for the second out of the inning. Royals down to their last 4 outs here as Lair will face Connor Morrow here in the 8th.
Euslades Lair has been making incredibly quick work of the top of the batting order for the Guelph Royals.
Morrow able to line that one into right field for a base hit. So the Royals here with a base runner, but 2 outs in the inning. Garrett Takamatsu coming up to hit. He's 2 for 3 on the night with a couple of singles, or with a single and a double that was almost a home run. Takamatsu looking for some justice after that last at-bat.
Connor Morrow able to get on base for the first time this evening after 3 straight groundouts. Puts that one over the glove of first baseman Grayson Barrett.
Lair with a nasty slider. Just crosses over the tip of the plate, but ends up outside anyways for strike number 1. Takamatsu probably couldn't have done anything with that pitch. And he brings it in with the fastball for strike number 2, working quickly, but not taking any toll on his command here. Quickly ahead 0-2 on the Royals 3-hitter.
Slider followed by a fastball in the exact same spot of the strike zone. Tricks Garrett Takamatsu incredibly and puts him down 0-2 early.
And Takamatsu chases the slider for strike number 3. Shaking his head, clearly not happy with himself on that pitch, as the Royals get a base runner, but to no avail as they go down. And it's still 5-1 Jackfish as we head to the top of the 9th.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Hard line drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rollins.
Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium for the top of the 9th inning. We have got a new pitcher for you. Sebastian Kahn has come on to pitch for the Guelph Royals.
Sebastian Kahn making his debut, the second straight debuting bullpen member for the Guelph Royals. Hailing out of Welland University in his first IBL season. Taking on the top team in the IBL.
In his 2024 college season, pitched to a 5.28 ERA in 15 appearances, 15.1 innings pitched, 9 earned runs allowed, and 11 walks to 20 strikeouts. And he'll face Brandon Hupe here in the top of the 9th. And Hupe hits a chopper to the shortstop, makes the play, flips it onto first. Oh, and it's over the head of Wilson at first base. Tough play there as the Jackfish have a leadoff base runner on an error by Brendan Luther. No, by Connor Morrow.
But looked to be a routine play from Connor Morrow. Sails that throw way high from the first baseman, Liam Wilson. Brings him off the bag. Couldn't even get a glove on it. And Bryn Hupe able to make his way to second base off a critical error from the Guelph Royals fielding.
Yeah, ball just got out of play into the Jackfish dugout on that one. So Luther awarded second base without question. And that, I don't know how many times we've had to say this in the last couple innings, but that brings up the top of the order with a runner in scoring position. Jonah Weisner will hit 1 for 3 on the night with a walk and a run score, batting .363 on the season. He'll face the rookie.
Jonah Weisner was the one who started that 4 straight walks thrown by Nelson Mercado. It's his first look at Sebastian Kahn, who throws one right down the middle with pure velocity, catching Weisner off guard.
Now Weisner showing bunt on the first pitch, trying to draw the third baseman in, who is playing level with the bag right now. The 0-1 from Kahn. And Weisner loses the bat on that one, heads up in the Jackfish dugout. Fouled that pitch off as well, and then threw the bat. But count moves to 0-2 now. A little delay here as Weisner will get his bat. Probably will apply a little bit more pine tar this time.
Jonah Weisner once again, one of the best leadoff hitters in the entire IBL, fully deserving of the All-Star starting spot. Coming out of the Welland Jackfish. 5 home runs, 23 RBIs on the year. Facing off against the Guelph Royals for the 5th time this evening.
Kahn with a long look in, checks the runner. The 0-2 to Weisner is way inside the ball, gets away from Ward. Hupe advances to third on the play, so the Jackfish with the no outs now have a runner on third base with the top of the order up.
Brandon Hupe showing how important every single play of a baseball game matters. Instead of a routine ground out made by Connor Morrow, off a series of errors, Brandon Hupe makes his way to third base, 90 feet away from making it a 6-1 game here at David E. Hastings Stadium.
And a heads-up play from Hupe there. That ball didn't get too far away from Ward, but he picks it up quickly and is able to advance to third with no throw there. So now the infield has to come in for the Royals against Jonah Weisner. 1-2 count. One, 2 from Kahn, misses high, so the count moves to 2-2 now.
Still 0 outs recorded for the Guelph Royals. Brandon Hupe has plenty of time to make it to home plate.
Weisner throws the bat again. Don't know what's going on with him right now. He'll take the walk of shame back to the dugout to pick up the bat after he strikes out. And that brings up center fielder Gio Morello.
Gio Morello also walked in his last at-bat. But other than that, has been held fairly quiet, with a couple of flyouts and a ground out here tonight.
Infield remains in for the Royals against Morello. Kahn with a long look into his catcher Ward. Morello ready. First pitch misses low and inside.
Yeah, he did.
Appeal to third base. No swing, says the umpire at third. So the count is 1-0 on Morello.
Morello yet to get a hit this game.
1-0. Misses yet again, so the count sits at 2-0. Something I am noticing here about Morello is his very, very compact batting stance. He gets down low, makes the strike zone small. And yet again, the pitch misses. It's a 3-0 count on Morello. Pitching around Morello, trying to potentially get to Pierre-Olivier Boucher, who has a batting average of just .261 compared with Morello's .337. Boucher also 0 for 2 on the night, but has scored 2 runs. The 3-0 pitch nicks the inside of the strike zone. So the count moves to 3-1 here.
The Welland Jackfish really taking advantage of pitches off the plate with just 4 hits on the night, but 5 runs scored.
Morello got a big piece of that ball, but fouls it back to the parking lot here at Hastings. So the count moves to 3-2 here with 1 out in the top of the 9th.
Sebastian Kahn slowly making his way through the batting order. Off a tough error against Brandon Hupe.
Payoff pitch is fouled off. Pitch number 12 for Kahn on the night. He's thrown 7 strikes and 5 balls. Count still remains at 3-2 with a runner on third. Royals playing in likely for the play at the plate in the case of a ground ball. And the 3-2 misses on the outside for ball number 4. So Morello will head down to first base, and Boucher will get the chance to hit with 2 runners on base and just 1 out.
Morello grabbing his second walk of tonight's contest, putting runners on the corners for the Welland Jackfish. As Sebastian Kahn tries to control as much damage as possible for the Guelph Royals as they look to build.
First pitch from Kahn is a ground ball into left field. 1 run comes in to score. Runner advances to second on the play, and it's now a 6-1 lead for the Welland Jackfish.
Pierre-Olivier Boucher able to get on base for the 3rd time this evening, but grabbing his first hit of the night after 2 straight walks.
And a good job by Boucher. Didn't hit the ball very hard at all. In fact, it was a pretty soft ground ball, but just splits the gap between the third baseman and the shortstop. Shortstop is playing close to the second base bag. Third baseman was playing relatively deep, so not able to make a play on that ball. And now Robert Mullen gets the chance to hit with runners at first and second yet again.
Robert Mullen 1 for 2 on the night with a single and 2 walks.
First pitch from Kahn misses way outside. Nice job by Ward to block that ball. Kahn struggling a little bit with command. He's thrown 8 strikes and 7 balls. Starts the cleanup hitter here with a ball. And the most important pitch in the at-bat is arguably the first one. If you get that first pitch strike across, your odds of getting the batter out increase exponentially. Especially against a hitter the caliber of Mullen. Mullen flies that ball, but it will get out of play, foul above the pavilion here at Hastings. Count moves to 1-1 here.
Robert Mullen clearly not done yet, swinging for the fences, looking to grow this lead even more. He's been walked in his last 2 at-bats, hasn't really gotten the chance to get a hold of the bat and swing hard.
Mullen grounds that one to the shortstop. He makes a nice diving play, flips it over to first, and what a double play for the Guelph Royals. Connor Morrow with a diving stop and a quick flip to the second baseman for the double play, and the Royals allow 1, but they work out of a jam here in the top of the 9th. Last chance for the Royals coming up here. We will head to the bottom of the 9th. You're watching Royals TV.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Hard line drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rollins.
Get ready, Hamilton. It's the 2025 IBL Home Run Derby and All-Star Game. Hosted by the Hamilton Cardinals at beautiful Bernie Arbor Stadium. Watch the league's top sluggers crush moonshots in the Derby. Then see the best of the best go head-to-head under the lights in the All-Star Game. Grab your tickets now at HamiltonCardinals.com, because this summer, the stars shine brightest in Hamilton.
Welcome back to David E. Hastings Stadium. Bottom of the ninth here in Guelph, and a new pitcher for the Welland Jackfish. Davy Mendez, the closer, is coming on to pitch here. Mendez from San Pedro de Marquard, Dominican Republic, 28 years old, stands at 6'2", 190 pounds. Spent time in affiliated ball with the Tampa Bay Rays organization, the Pirates, and the Padres organization.
Aiden Shell appearing in just his second game for the Guelph Royals. Still hasn't gotten his first hit of the 2025 season, going 0 for 2 in his first look.
He's late on the first pitch fastball. Shell, new player coming on to face a pitcher whose former draft pick spent time in affiliated ball. It's late on strike 2 as well. 2 straight fastballs from Mendez to put him up 0-2 early in this inning.
And as we just mentioned, a new arm on the mound for the Welland Jackfish, and Davy Mendez, their go-to closer. Led the league in saves last year with 12 and makes quick work of Aiden Shell, grabbing his first strikeout of the evening.
3 straight fastballs from Mendez and 3 straight late swings from Shell. Quickly first out of the inning. And that brings up the catcher, Matthew Ward. Royals down to their final 2 outs here in this one.
Davy Mendez appearing in 11 appearances this season, with 13 innings pitched, 18 strikeouts, 12 hits, and 4 walks.
First pitch from Mendez hits the outside corner for strike number 1.
Took a bit of a slide from last year with the ERA just at 346, but still one of the top closers in the entire IBL.
Misses there, but 5th straight fastball from Mendez to start this outing. If you can throw it past him, just use it. And clearly Mendez here, confident in his ability. The 1-1 from Mendez. Inside for ball number 2. Ward had to move out of the way of that one a little bit. So the count sits at 2-1.
Davy Mendez brings a lot of heat on the mound. Was unstoppable last year with just an 0.49 ERA through 16 appearances and 12 saves.
That one swung on and missed for strike number 2. The Royals hitters thus far just have been late on Mendez' electric fastball. Ward finds himself in a 2-strike count here.
Got into a bit of a jam in his last game against the Kitchener Panthers, giving up 2 earned runs, 4 hits, and 1 strikeout. Still picked up the save.
2-2 misses off the plate to Ward, so that will load the count at 3-2. Here, 1 out in the inning. Mendez, still nothing but fastballs here. Could be the time now to mix in an off speed with the player's sights completely set on the fastball.
In 2 appearances in the championship against Guelph, did not play very well either.
Ward grounds that one to the shortstop for out number 2. So the Royals down to their last out here. Brendan Luther making the play on that one. And it's left up to Ethan Hammond. Hammond 0 for 2 on the night with a strikeout, but he did walk. The lefty will face the Jackfish dominant closer.
Davy Mendez appeared in the 13-8 victory against Guelph just a few days ago on July 10th. Just gave up 1 hit and struck out 2 as Ethan Hammond swings for the fences. Gets none of that fastball from Davy Mendez. And the energy is starting to get sucked out of David E. Hastings Stadium.
Royals down to their final 2 strikes. Hammond on that last pitch swung hard and was late on the fastball yet again. First off speed that we've seen from Mendez thus far, and it misses low and inside for ball number 1. When your fastball is working at its best, you can mix in the off speed to change the eye level of the hitters, but so far Mendez has not needed to do so. Misses high and outside for ball number 2, so signs of life here for Ethan Hammond.
Davey Mendez gave up 4 earned runs and 6 hits in the 2 appearances he had against the Royals in the championship last year. Getting some redemption here today. But taking Ethan Hammond off the batter's box, shaking him up a little bit. Going behind on the count, 3-1.
Hammond taking a second, adjusting the batting gloves. Mendez thinking here, looks in. 3-1. Misses inside, so the Royals have a base runner here in the 9th with 2 outs in the inning. That will bring up J.D. Williams. Williams 0 for 2 on the night, but has walked so far. Represents the last hope for the Guelph Royals.
J.D. Williams with just 1 home run on the year, but 19 RBIs. So it's an overall threat inside the batter's box. But once again, going up against one of the hardest pitchers in the entire IBL in the form of Davey Mendez.
First pitch from Mendez misses low. Now Williams, not known for the home run power, but known for the gap-to-gap ability, will hit line drives like it's nobody's business. But starts the at-bat here, ahead 1-0 against the Jackfish closer Mendez. The 1-0 from Mendez. And that's a fly ball towards center field. This could do it. Morello ranging over, and he will make the catch, and that will do it for this one. It's the Jackfish 6. They've scored 6 runs on 6 hits. The Guelph Royals 1 run on 5 hits. They had 1 error on the night as the Jackfish win their 8th in a row here in Guelph.
The Guelph Royals started off with a spectacular performance from the starter Edgar Garcia, who went 6 scoreless innings. Got into a bit of a jam in the top of the 7th. Ended his night giving up 2 of the runs we saw from the Welland Jackfish, but the bullpen, you never want to point fingers, but the bullpen did not live up to their end of the bargain, giving up 4 runs in the last 2 innings, which led to the 6-1 game here at David E. Hastings Stadium.
Yeah, tough one for the Royals, the bullpen, giving up 4 runs in the last 2 innings, unable to pick up their starter, scoring just 1 run on offense here tonight on the home run by Wilson, the lone run tonight. Looking ahead for the Guelph Royals, they'll stay home to face they'll head to Barrie to face the Baycats, and then they'll come back home for a game against the Brantford Red Sox, followed up by the Baycats. Then they'll head to Toronto to play the Maple Leafs. So a bit of a tough schedule for the Royals, facing the defending champions twice in the next week, but potentially a chance to make up some ground with the Red Sox and the Leafs. Cam, any final thoughts?
Well, the Guelph Royals lose their 4th straight game. They're not out of the woods yet, being 5 games up on the Brantford Red Sox, who are the team currently sitting outside of the playoff picture. But the job's not done yet for the Guelph Royals, just sitting at 11-17 in the 7th slot of the standings. Difficult matchup against the playoff clinched and the top team in the league, the Welland Jackfish. As I said, jobs is not finished for these Guelph Royals, and the playoffs are in their future if they secure it.
Yeah, well, I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you for tuning in to Royals TV tonight. This is myself, Noam Strifer, Cam Sterling signing off for now. Big thank you to our production crew. We'll see you soon.